Hello. Welcome to episode 11 of the Aluminum Screen podcast. I'm
Hell yeah.
Brandon.
And I'm
That guy
Emmett.
over there.
Welcome to take two. We had I forgot to hit record, but we only got a couple minutes in, so we're back and better than ever.
Yeah, so this is all the first time we're doing it. It's a shame
Yep.
because I had a really good intro the last time, but
He did.
I won't be able to
Arguably
redo that.
perfect.
Yeah. So yeah. Sorry that you're not getting the perfect intro that was recorded before. That's lost
True.
forever.
That's true. Lost media.
Yeah, so I guess all we can do now is move on and move on to the news. We got a stacked week this week with
Hell yeah.
probably the best movie of the year, spoiling what I think of
Probably.
it. Sinners. Well,
Yeah,
I'm trying to
spoiling
keep
what I
some
think.
intrigue.
That's fair. Yeah, we got a crazy amount of news this week.
Crazy amount of news. Daredevil finale. Something happened in The Last of Us episode 2.
Something did happen.
Something
and
happened.
I'm sure everyone's really normal about it, which I love.
And yeah, so let's jump into the news here.
Hell yeah.
And,
So
get it started.
we've talked about this pretty extensively, so we don't have to spend a lot of time, but we did get the final trailer for Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
How we feeling?
Best trailer so far. Well, I mean, so far, that'll be it, I guess, but best trailer they had for it. And yeah, I know Florence Pugh is going to make me cry, so I'm already preparing for that.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this, man. I'm feeling the hype. Like, there's been a lot of talk about how this movie isn't going to make a ton of money. It's definitely not going to be $1 billion movie. Hopefully it makes a solid profit if it's good. There's screenings tomorrow. People are going to be seeing this movie. They seem extraordinarily confident in it. I hope it can make a solid little profit and be a good movie.
It'll make $1 billion off of me alone.
But it really does feel like people are starting to get hyped for it.
Yeah, which is about time. I've been having to push this thing for ages now, I feel like.
True.
I'm just ready to be vindicated on May 1st.
I respect
to walk out of that theater and be like, yep, it was a banger. I knew it. I don't know why anyone would doubt Florence Pugh and Sebastian Stan, but
fair. I agree.
I mean, we'll see.
I will slightly off topic, but only a couple hours ago it was announced that the Winter Soldier and White Widow will be in Fortnite. Did you see this?
I did see this.
Oh, I was hoping I could surprise you with it. With Yelena Fortnite. Big stuff.
Fortnite's stealing more of my money for a game I play barely ever, if at all.
Yeah, I feel you on that one, unfortunately. Also, I was thinking about this the other day when I was watching the newer trailer. Do you remember? I think it was our first episode. We were talking about the first Thunderbolts long trailer. And you brought up that there's a shot of everybody holding up like rubble. And it looks like someone's been edited out.
Right.
And we were talking about that, trying to figure out who it is and if anyone was. And I actually think there's a really obvious answer that we didn't think about at the time.
Red Hulk.
Sentry.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, wow, who could that be? And I was like, oh my God, this is, of course.
Yeah, how did we not? Oh, man. I feel like an idiot now.
I know. I had the same thought. I was like, we know he's in the movie. We spent 30 minutes. We were like, Norman Osborn, maybe
Spider-Man's going to be in this one. It's just Lewis Pullman, man.
Exactly. I couldn't believe it when I had that thought. But yeah, we've seen a lot more of the Void since then, and he looks awesome. I love his. I'm really excited for this. I wish I was seeing it.
Beady eyes. Yeah, I wish I wasn't at work when those tickets went out because I would have been sitting there refreshing nonstop.
It's like the one time I'm not on Twitter for 2 minutes. I looked 2 minutes later and the only one left was Kansas. And I was like, do I go to Kansas?
Well, then you don't have to pay for the ticket. So really you're just paying for the plane ticket. And that's the price of the movie ticket.
That's true.
You should have done it.
I honestly should. It's my mother's birthday. Otherwise,
take her with
I
you.
might have. That's true. And Mom, we're going to Kansas. Happy birthday.
To see Thunderbolts. What's that?
Her first MCU movie.
Yeah. There you go. Get her indoctrinated.
Yeah. Arguably the biggest trailer of the week. We got the Fantastic Four official trailer.
Yeah.
This is my most anticipated of the year by far, maybe ever. Not ever. I keep saying that, but definitely not. But I'm so beyond excited for this movie.
Yeah. The trailer looks good. The production design is really insane in this one.
It
Like, it
is
looks like a real movie.
it really does.
Crazy.
There's lighting and there's depth
Yeah.
and there's shadows even.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I'm excited for Thunderbolts, that is a gray-ass movie.
It is.
It's
It's very gray.
it's basically a black and white movie,
It
except for when Red Guardian's on screen, then it's
yeah,
black, white, and red.
it really is. And I like it is more purposeful, I think. Like I think it's an
Right.
artistic choice for that one as opposed to like
The Flash, when
Captain
they said it was
America and
an
yeah,
artistic
yeah.
choice to have bad, VFX.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
this does it looks like a real movie. There's some fun practical effects. You see like a
Mhm.
miniature set with Galactus walking on it. Apparently they really put Ralph Innocent in a Galactus suit for that,
That's
I read.
awesome. That's so cool. I need a picture of that.
I know, I can't wait to hear his voice.
I mean, his voice already is, like, it's
Yeah,
incredible, so
it is. I'm trying to think of the big stuff in this trailer. We get our first look at Silver Surfer.
we get our first look at Stretchy Reed.
We do.
He finally
So many
stretches.
so many people were like they're he's not gonna stretch his new powers, his brain got bigger. What are we
Yeah.
talking about? And it
People
looks
really
good.
thought that his powers were gonna be
Yeah,
his brain got bigger.
people really thought that. Or people
Wow.
thought that like it was gonna be he doesn't get powers until the second time they go up.
Mm,
That's what I'm interested in, because this trailer also establishes that like they went up to space and they like saved the world
right.
and got their powers and then they came back. I really want to know what that's all about.
Did they go back up? I thought that it was just they were talking about the first time they went up in the trailer, and then that was kind of it. Like,
Yeah,
then they were, like, heroes, and did they go back to space in the trailer?
I think so, because we can see them in their space shoots again, but like Ben is the thing and Reed's like, I don't know. Because they're like,
Oh,
are you going to be able to? So I think they're going up to like talk to Galactus or Silver Surfer or something.
okay, okay. Or
And
maybe
what
that's
else?
them going to the MCU universe.
That's true. I'm really. Could you imagine if like all the MCU guys just got sucked into that universe and we had like a really cool world?
Yeah,
That would be awesome.
it would be awesome, but they're apparently repurposing the Void, so it's not gonna be that. It's gonna
Yeah,
be even more grayer than ever before.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, like they really look like real movies. They're doing practical effects. They got Florence Pugh jumping off buildings. Just for Avengers Doomsday to be the most like it's that scene from Multiverse of Madness with the Illuminati where no one is in the same room.
Yeah,
It's gonna be that for 3 hours.
yeah. I actually rewatched Multiverse of Madness the other day, and I was like,
Oh hell yeah.
"Wow." It's, like, really good, and it has actual colors, and I'm like, "Wow, this movie is really cooking with gas right now." And
Hell
then the
yeah.
Illuminati scene happened, and I was like, "Wow, this is really bad."
Yeah, I really like Multiverse of Madness.
It's a
I
good
really
movie
it's
apart
one of my
from that
favorites, and
chunk in the middle.
yeah, I don't mind it as much just because I think it's a bit of fun,
Hmm.
but it is, like, the only real, like, multiverse exploring they do in a movie called Multiverse of
Yeah.
Madness, which is weird.
Yeah, there's not much madness in the multiverse, to be honest.
There's not a lot of madness, it's really just the one bit.
Yeah. But I will say it does have the worst moment in the MCU that I forgot about until those 2 little kids popped up, and I was like,
Oh,
"Oh my gosh." And I
we what is
remembered,
it? We want ice cream.
as every child should, and there's, like, another 2 lines, but it really is horrible.
Yeah, why'd she even want those kids
Yeah, I would've heard
after
that and
that?
been like, "Oh, never mind."
Honestly, yeah. My Yeah, I like that movie a lot. It's weird to me that Vision, like, she's never like, "Oh, maybe I could find a universe where Vision's alive." Like, just no
Nah.
mention whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's always been so weird to me. Anyway, Fantastic Four.
Anyway.
Sue Storm is officially pregnant, like we all thought.
Yeah.
Kinda new. Franklin Richards is coming. Might tie into Galactus.
Mm.
This was our first time really seeing Joseph Quinn, like, really be Johnny Storm. Awesome. He's great.
Yeah.
You have to eat your frog or whatever that saying is.
I'll eat crow on this.
Eat crow on
Or
this.
frog, I'll eat frog.
As a Joseph Quinn hater.
I'm not a Joseph Quinn hater.
I know.
You've got it mixed up. I'm a Eddie Munson hater. I'm not a Joseph Quinn hater. I feel like I'm more similar to Joseph Quinn on this issue than you are. I feel
What?
like
What?
I don't know, just because there's the one interview clip from Warfare where they were like, "Oh, Joseph Quinn had the second most fan edits of him on TikTok," and he seemed annoyed by it when they brought up Stranger Things.
Oh,
So
that's fair.
I
That's
don't know.
fair.
But I mean, that intro scene that might be one of the worst scenes I've ever had the pleasure of watching.
God.
I'm a freak.
It's been like 20 years.
It has been like 20 years, and I'll never forget how horrible that is.
I don't even see Joseph Quinn as Eddie Munson anymore. Like I saw a clip of him from Stranger Things, and it's just not the same dude. Yeah. They gave him blue contacts for the Fantastic Four. I didn't notice that until this trailer.
Yeah, it looks. I feel like I'm like that looks weird because I'm like that's Joseph Quinn, but it's not.
Yeah, I like it. I feel like they literally made his hair blonde and gave him contacts, but I'm like, wow, he's unrecognizable in the role. Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Silver Surfer looks good. Treatment. Yeah, literally. Do we have anything else to say about this trailer? Silver Surfer. Cool.
Silver Surfer's woke, so the movie's gonna be bad.
So true.
True. Yeah, shout out to all the dumb guys online that are like, "Oh, Silver Surfer's a dude, actually."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Have you read the comics?" They're like, "No."
Not like, don't pretend that you care about the Silver Surfer that much. Yeah. You're just mad a woman's in the movie. I saw a TikTok and it was like, "There's already a woman in the movie with Sue Storm." It's like we don't need another
the quota.
Yeah, done. Exactly. He was like, and she's pregnant. Like that's like that's basically doubling.
Well, that counts as two women.
Yeah, like what are we doing here? Awesome. I did have a real fear that we are going to get Birdie in this movie. I know we've talked about that a bit.
Yeah, no, I think we are because I thought that they would have had if she was voicing Herbie. I feel like they would have shown that or something.
Yeah,
maybe.
Or if she's Alicia, maybe you get a quick shot of her or something.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think the movie ends with the Fantastic Four like pushed out into the multiverse and they get picked up by the What If team led by Birdie.
If they make What If like essential text for Avengers Doomsday, I might blow up the theater.
Like, what are we doing? What are we? I really am starting to get scared of that. I don't think it's gonna happen, but there's part of me that like it does sound like something they would do. Oh, look, it's Birdie.
What if she's not playing Birdie? What if mentioned? What if she's actually playing Doctor Doom of this universe? Whoa,
that's a better cast. You know what? I'm down.
But it would just be so awesome to have all those like dude bros on Twitter. They're like waiting to see RDJ as Doom just for it to be Natasha Lyonne.
She's also it's a variant of Birdie though, so what is still required?
Dr. Bird Doom.
Victor Von Bird. So dumb. I do think we're gonna get like Robert Downey Jr. in this movie, and I feel like we might get like Tom Hiddleston and Chris Evans. I don't know why.
Chris Evans.
I don't know. It just there was that video forever ago where it's like a mysterious actor walking onto the Fantastic Four set, and they like had him. I just feel like it's Chris Evans. I don't know why.
I saw a TikTok and they like lined up someone's like walking and they were wearing like the same clothes. I think it was Tom Hiddleston, and they like lined it up on Photoshop.
Tom Hiddleston would make sense.
Yeah, I think it was him. I don't remember, to be honest.
I think it'd be really fun if like Chris Evans was like President Steve Rogers of this universe or something silly like that. I don't want like just good old fun. Anyway, that's enough time for a Fantastic
But Matt Shackman said he's like it's not going to be. There's no Easter egg in this.
Wrong already, Matt Shackman. There was like 6 in that trailer. Yeah, it said Westview Appliances.
That's a coincidence.
Boom. And Attack of the Fungus, which might be one also. I don't know.
Attack of the Fungus?
Because The Last of Us. Get it?
Oh, because Pedro Pascal.
Speaking of The Last of Us, let's talk about the Superman BTS thing.
Oh, okay.
So for Superman Day, instead of like a trailer, we got a little BTS, kind of everyone talking about the movie, what Superman means to them. Thoughts? Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, I just spent that whole time you were talking trying to think of a segue from The Last of Us to Superman, but I think I got it, so I'm going to give it a shot here.
I think I have one also. Okay.
To it. The Last of Us, we saw Joel and Dina, played by Isabella Merced, who's in the featurette. Behind the scenes, we got a better look at Hawk Girl.
That is way better than what I was thinking.
Oh, what were you thinking? Off.
Speaking of The Last of Us, remember that time in Wonder Woman 1984, Pedro Pascal played Maxwell Lord? Well, now he's played by Sean Gunn. Who's Sean Gunn's brother?
Isn't Maxwell Lord gonna be in the movie or no?
Yeah,
Is
he
that
is.
Oh, okay.
Or he was cast. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I think we might have gotten a glimpse of him in the BTS. Anyway, thoughts
Yeah.
on the BTS?
Sorry, I got us totally off track, but the
No, that
BTS
was my fault.
looked pretty fun.
It did.
I mean, I'm excited for the movie. I'm gonna be there day 0, so
Hell yeah.
they don't have to do anything else really to
Yeah,
get me in.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
I am starting to get like a little worried, just marketing wise. It's not really the end of the world, but I'm like, it's just so close to Fantastic Four and Jurassic World.
Yeah, but I think
And
that this is gonna be so big just because it was also before the Minecraft movie, so I feel like a
oh,
bunch of kids would have
that's
seen it.
true. People in my theater were like, it's Superman. Like, it was the
Yeah.
first they've ever heard of this. So
Yeah.
that is true. I just, the fact, I don't know, whatever.
I
Yeah.
think they'll
We'll
ramp
see.
it up as the closer we get to it. I mean, we're
I
still,
think so.
like, how many 3 months away, so
Yeah.
they're not gonna blow their
Only
load
3
this
months
early.
away. That is
Yeah.
crazy. We get, yeah, we don't get a ton to really talk about in this. I mean, there's some cool stuff. We get like Metamorpho.
Yeah.
Look at the Hammer of Bolivia.
Mhm. I
Some
was gonna
fun
say the
stuff.
same thing.
Yeah. We have anything to really talk about with it?
Not really, I mean, I'm excited
Looks
for it.
good.
They keep hyping up James Gunn a lot, so I don't know if
They
he's, like,
do.
writing the script to tell them to do that or what, because, like,
I
he's the CEO of Warner Bros. or
yeah,
the
he's
of
in like
DC.
he's in every picture. He's in every
Yeah.
trailer they mention him. He probably is the biggest selling point, to be
Yeah, and they're
fair.
like, "We trust in James Gunn."
Oh,
They say that in every single piece of marketing.
he
So,
was in the Creature Commandos intro.
yeah, like, he's everywhere, man.
I love the idea of him forcing that. We
Like,
got no, you go.
there's gonna be a scene in Superman where he's, like, just walking on the street, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, it's famous writer, director James Gunn," and he's just gonna be sitting there, like, sipping a coffee.
Do you think he gets a cameo? Now that you said that, I feel like he might get like a
I think he might, but not like, I don't think he'll
he
I don't know.
he technically cameoed in Guardians 3, but that was like a voice thing. He played that weird little blob guy.
Yeah, like, I think if it's a cameo, it'll be something like that, or, like, on
Yeah.
the newspaper, it'll have, like, his picture, and it'll be like, "Local
Yeah.
weirdo gets arrested," or something.
Yeah, not like a Stan Lee-esque kinda
Yeah,
that'd be
not like a character or
yeah,
something.
that'd be fun. Last week we got the first official trailer or teaser for Eddington, the new Ari
Yeah.
Aster movie about
Mhm.
a mayor during COVID, about a small town rising up against the mayor during COVID.
Yeah, it's like a mayor and a sheriff going at it during the peak of COVID, and I
Starring
really liked the teaser, though. It was just
yeah, me
Joaquin
too.
Phoenix doom scrolling, and it was, like, different, scenes from the movie. Austin
Yeah,
Butler's getting his freak on,
he's always
so
getting his freak on. I love
yeah.
that guy. I've really become an
Yeah.
Austin Butler stan post, dude.
He's great, man.
I
Yeah.
love this and the weapons teasers. It's just like this is what I want from a thing.
Mhm.
I mean, they're gonna release trailers because they obviously have to do that. But
Yeah.
like this is a way to do it, man. And great cast: Pedro Pascal, Joaquin Phoenix, like you said, Austin
Emma
Butler,
Stone?
Emma Stone. I forgot about Emma Stone. That's
Yeah.
true. I did not
Emily
like
Stone.
Emily Stone. Oh yeah, is that her
Yeah.
new thing?
Yeah, apparently that's her
Emily
real
Stone.
name, and she had to change it to Emma for
Oh yeah, for
SAG
SAG.
reasons.
I did
So,
not like Beau is Afraid at all.
I was kind of indifferent on it.
I will probably give it another watch leading up to this, but I am very excited for this. Oof, I did not like Beau is Afraid, so I'm hoping this is
Mhm.
more or less Beau is Afraid, more anything else.
I don't know, I feel like it's gonna be similar to Beau is Afraid. It's not gonna be as weird as Beau is Afraid, but I
Yeah,
feel like it'll kinda, like, dip its toes into kinda
that's fair.
similar waters.
Yeah, I like a lot of the ideas in Beau is Afraid. If it's just like kind of heightened up a little bit, I would like
Yeah.
it quite a bit in Eddington.
Sounds like you might like Eddington quite a bit then.
I hope I do.
Get ready.
Teasers for Weapons. This is the movie about a entire I think 17 kids go missing at 2:17 a.m. in this small
Yeah,
town. There's
an entire
really
classroom.
creepy yeah, entire classroom. Really creepy footage of kids just running away through the streets, filmed through like surveillance cams.
Yeah.
This looks
Very,
great.
very off-putting to see.
Very off-putting.
I think Julia Garner's the teacher in this as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
That's cool. She's in a lot
what a
recently.
summer for her. And she
She
was in
really is.
Wolfman
She
earlier.
was in hit film Wolfman.
And now streaming on Peacock. I saw it the other day.
Oh, I have it. I got it digitally somehow. I don't know.
Wow.
I didn't do anything, but when I go into like my movie thing, it's there. It's fully bought somehow. So maybe someone gave it to me. I don't.
Wow.
Can you gift a movie on that?
Maybe you like instead of sleepwalking, you sleep purchased Wolfman.
That's true. Like maybe I became the Wolfman and
Yeah.
purchased Wolfman. Oh, I forget what I was gonna say. This looks great. I know there's a lot of theories out there about what's going on here. I'm just excited to watch the movie. Like I'm trying not to think about that stuff.
Yeah.
I do have some theories, but Barbarian I just loved so much. I'm still like the strongest Barbarian defender out there,
Yeah.
and
Does that movie
I'm
have
really looking
haters?
forward to this. Yeah, dude, people hate Barbarian.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
ridiculous.
I only remember seeing like praise for it when it came
It's
out, and now
yeah, it's one of those things where now, like a couple years later, everyone's like, "That was
right.
overhyped," and
Like
everyone
we
that
can all
likes it.
admit this movie was bad, right?
Yeah, yeah. I love
I like
Barbarian.
Barbarian a lot, but
Wish it would get a physical release.
it's just a man, it's an epidemic of that. But I think this movie's gonna be really good because I mean the studio is super confident in it. They moved it up from it was gonna come out like beginning of next year or maybe
Mm.
late this year,
Oh, yeah,
and
swapped.
they swapped it with The Bride. So now it's coming out in August. So they clearly have a lot of faith in it. So
Yeah,
that
definitely.
gives me a lot of faith in it.
Yeah, and it seems like people are really interested in this just based off of, like, TikTok. Like, there's been a
Yeah,
lot of weapons videos, they all seem to be doing well, like, people are really excited for this. How could you blame them?
it's a
Looks
weapon
awesome.
summer.
It is. It is a weapon summer. I actually think as we're filming this, the first trailer just dropped. I didn't
Did it
look.
really?
Oh, it's just a quick little teaser.
Okay.
It's anyway,
Well,
that's
yeah,
really funny.
perfect.
This is not important news at all, but I think it's really funny.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel posted begging for Fast and Furious 11 to finally be made. What is
Please
going
let
on
me tell
here?
the best fans in the world.
Yeah.
I don't think
I
that's
love
what he
it.
sounds like.
I love how he's like, please tell them when it's coming out. I don't
Yeah,
care. I'm not interested.
that's obvious, Vin. We can tell.
Yeah. What is going on with this movie? Fast 10 came out 2022?
Something like that. Yeah, it was a while
Maybe?
ago. Maybe 23
And it's like,
at the latest.
and there's been no movement on the new one at all
Oh,
since then. Did you
aren't they
see
supposed to go to
Fast?
space now, or?
They already did. They've been there.
Oh, they've been to space. Great.
But there's like, and the movie did, it did well, but it had a ridiculous budget. So I don't know if it really made profit. It was
Right.
like a $400 million budget, and it made
Yeah.
like 750 maybe. I don't know.
Was
So
that
I
the
don't
one
know if
that he got mad because Jason Momoa was, like, stealing every scene
yeah,
he was in, and everyone was like,
everyone
"Wow,
re
Jason
yeah.
Momoa is great in this." He's like,
Yeah,
"You're
but
supposed to think I'm great."
what did he say? He did something or he posted something about that, but I don't remember what.
I don't remember. He's a great poster, though,
One of the best we have, truly.
and
After
he's
the
also a hell of an interview.
yeah, he
The
is.
interview with the lady who goes, "When did this turn into a beautiful world?"
He's he's every question she asks, just "You're beautiful," you know
Yeah,
that?
just harassing this lady.
This is his second insane post of the year too, because I don't know if you remember this, but during the fires in California,
Oh
like the
god.
terrible fires, tragic, people lost everything. The next day he gets on Instagram, he goes, "Universal, we have to film Fast 11 here. My sister just lost her house and she's begging for Fast 11 to be filmed in the great city of LA."
Man, he's awesome.
There's a chance that Fast 11 doesn't get made. And then, did you see Fast 10?
I didn't see any Fast movie.
Okay, do you care if I spoil it then?
No, I don't care at all.
Spoiler to anyone who cares. The end of Fast 10 is Dom Toretto. Jason Momoa has his son, and Dom Toretto pulls up, and then they explode the dam, and it seems like they all died. So if they don't make Fast 11, that's the end. Fast and Furious.
This 10-movie franchise just ends with the guy committing suicide and blowing himself up on a
Him and
dam.
his son die in a dam. What are we doing?
Honestly, that kinda rocks, though. That it
It
should end
does.
like that.
It really should.
That would be awesome.
We got,
Oh my god.
some Toy Story 5 news. It's woke. I don't know if you heard.
Oh, yeah, it's focusing on Jesse apparently, right?
Focusing on Jesse.
Oh, boo!
The horror. My
Yeah.
god. It's also, it was confirmed that Woody and Buzz will reunite in this movie.
Oh, cool. No point in watching it.
Yeah, why are we
They're just
doing
gonna
this?
tell us everything that happens in it. Like, what?
I I don't get it, man.
They didn't need to
I
make a 4th one, and they sure do not need to make a 5th one.
That's the crazy thing, like, the 4th one, I remember watching it and being like, "Oh, this is fun." I just wish it didn't exist.
Yeah.
It does nothing but
I don't
I don't
I saw it, I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, I remember Woody leaves, and I didn't like that.
Yeah. Well, they're
And
fixing it
they're
now.
fixing yeah, I guess I have nothing to complain about now. And I think he made Jesse the new, like, leader. So, yeah, well, I guess it makes whatever, I don't care enough about it. We got the Star Wars Celebration was the other day.
Yeah,
Lot of news, none of it really great. I don't know. Star
yeah.
Wars did in quite a state. They it was like 2 or 3 years ago was the last big one, and they
Mhm.
announced like 4 movies,
And
and
none of
there's been no progress on any of them. Not
yeah.
even enough to like show a picture or like be like, "Yep, it's coming out this day." The only one that we got, well, technically no, yeah, the only 2 movies we really got updates on were announced after that celebration and are being fast
Nice.
tracked. What is going on? They did say
That's a
some of
good
them are
sign.
still in the works, but, like, is that really that's the big announcement. Could you
Yeah,
imagine
they
if
said
Marvel
the Taika Waititi one is, in the works, but he works on his own timeline.
yeah,
Alright,
awesome.
tell him to work on
Tell them
yours.
to hurry it up, maybe?
LOL.
It's a Taika Waititi Star Wars movie. He's not really he doesn't have to crack that much here. No offense to anyone involved, but my god. They were just
Ugh,
like, "Yeah, those movies we announced, they're still happening," and everyone cheered. What are we doing?
it's so dumb, man.
But, so we got some Mandalorian and Grogu news.
Thank God.
Did you see the leaked trailer?
I saw clips online.
It actually it looks fun. I mean,
Yeah,
I love Mandalorian. You could see, like, 6 different Grogus back there, I think.
yeah. I saw Grogu
Um,
went for a bit of a dip in the trailer.
he did, he swims now.
Yeah.
Here's my
They
dark
swim now?
saber. I know that isn't that I was thinking that when that scene happened. They swim now. They swim now.
I hope they mention that line in,
Oh, hey, I got this too.
what is that? Wow,
I have to
Emmett's
get a
showing off
brain for it.
his all his, Mandalorian merch now
It really seems like
for
I just
the
have all
audio
this
only
right
folks.
next to me all the time. I'm now
Yeah,
realizing.
oh my
What that was.
gosh. How many more Grogu posters do you have?
I have a Grogu shelf. Anyway, okay, this is a audio medium. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry everybody. So the leak trailer looks pretty interesting, I guess. I don't know. It starts with like Mando doing this long one take sequence fighting off some stormtroopers in an AT-AT. Do you say AT-AT or AT-AT or do you not care?
I always say both.
Nice.
I
I do
add
say
AT-AT
AT-AT normally, but I think it's funny to say AT-AT. Not the point.
quicker,
We get
more
some
efficient,
shots of Grogu using the Force again. Like I don't know. What a,
like
uh,
he does.
I'm excited for it just because I like Mandalorian. How do you feel about the title?
Horrible.
I don't
But both
think it's
both
that
the
bad.
movies they showed Mandalorian and Grogu, that's just like that's boring. That's like if Sinners was well, I mean, if Sinners was named Smokestack, that would be kinda cool.
That
But
would be
the
kind of
names
cool.
are cooler. But if it was like, I don't know, John and Gary, it's not that exciting.
Yeah, but they're not. They're the man. I don't know. I don't really see the. Everyone hates the title though, so like I'm clearly in the minority. I just don't. I
I
mean, I
feel
don't
like
think
it's
it's
missing a
necessarily good.
subtitle or something. Like just
That's fair.
Mandalorian and Grogu, like in the Multiverse of Madness or something.
That would kind of
Yeah.
hit. The
Or they
Wicked
can be
Planet.
like the other movie, Star Wars Starfighter.
Yeah,
A horrible name as well.
I I don't think it's okay.
There's
Oh,
too many
that
stars.
one I
You
think
can't
is
have
worse.
4 words and 2 of them be star.
Okay, that's fair. But one last note on Mandalorian and Grogu. It seems like Stinky the Hut is officially in the movie. First
He's a
confirmation.
gladiator.
He's a gladiator in a coliseum. No confirmation on Jeremy Allen White quite yet, but I think it's a safe bet.
Mhm.
and he is jacked. That was true.
That's good.
It's just awesome. That's the like little sting at the end. The thing that's the thing that's gonna get people excited to see it. That's what we're.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Is that Stinky the Hut from the 2007 Clone Wars movie? What?
Dave Filoni walked into that writer's room with his cowboy hat on and said, "Let's get Stinky the Hut in there," and then left. And they're like, "What do we do now?" Like, I think he just remembers random people from like the animated Clone Wars show, and it's like, we'll make a movie with them.
Zeb is also in The Mandalorian and Grogu from Star Wars
Ooh,
Rebels.
who is that?
Zeb Aurelius, or he's got a full name. He's got a Govey, but he's Zeb.
Oh, okay.
Zeb Rocks also announced for Ahsoka season 2. Zeb will be there, and Admiral Akbar will be facing against Grand Admiral Thrawn.
What are we doing?
Big stuff going on over there.
Star Wars needs to go back to making 3 movies every 20 years.
They pretty much are.
Like, well, yeah, but I mean, all the shows and stuff is really slopping it up.
You touched on it before. Star Wars Starfighters, their other big movie, comes out May 2027, starring Ryan Gosling, directed by Sean Levy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently it's real. We were wrong.
Apparently it's real. Apparently it starts filming this fall.
Yeah, apparently it's about a 15-year-old Padawan and Ryan Gosling's the Jedi.
Oh, is it? I didn't even see that. I missed that.
Apparently. Well, that's what I've heard.
That's cool.
So if it's wrong, don't quote me. But if it's right, quote me.
Brave, we have our first scoop.
Yeah. I don't even think it's a scoop. I heard it from like other people.
Never mind.
But
our first and last scoop, just like
our first scoop. Scoop.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what we're doing with this.
I just no interest in this at all.
Sean Levy directed Star Wars movie is just I don't even dislike Deadpool and Wolverine. I like it for what it is.
Right.
And I like Free Guy, and I like a lot of his movies. The thought of him in like playing with the Star Wars stuff does absolutely nothing for me.
What if Ryan Gosling was there?
I mean, that is slightly better. I do think this movie will make a lot of money.
Oh, probably.
I think this will be like maybe the big like, oh, Star Wars is so back for a lot of people.
Well, apparently it's not going to have a big budget.
Oh, that's good.
So, and it's Star Wars, so it'll print money.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
Although it is a Ryan Gosling-led sci-fi movie, so those traditionally have not done great at the box office.
That's true.
So we'll see.
I hope it's good. I hope it's fun.
Yeah. I can't wait to see who is replacing Mikey Madison after she turned it down.
Oh,
that'll be fun to see.
Move on her part.
It is honestly
pretty
sick. And apparently one of the main reasons she rejected was because the Star Wars fans are too toxic online towards women.
So fair.
So she was like, it's not really worth it.
They probably offered her like $20 million, and that's not worth what happens when you're a woman in a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
It's insane. And I mean, Disney doesn't really do anything to protect anyone involved.
No, they have Ewan McGregor make one video that goes, "We love Moses. Be nice."
So true. It's so true. And that works. Last bit of Star Wars news. Well, there's others, but I don't really think we need to.
Yeah.
They're making a Darth Maul show, animated show.
I saw a clip of the animation. It looked pretty fun, I think, if it was
it does.
the right thing.
I think this could be cool.
They had the clip of the one fancy lightsaber thing. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Seems like they're bringing Darth Talon in. I know you care a lot about Darth Talon.
That's my favorite Talon-related character in Star Wars.
So true. Last bit of Star Wars news, not really related. Star Wars Fortnite season starting in May.
Darth Jar Jar is real.
I really didn't care until the Darth Jar Jar thing, and I was like, all right, they might be onto something with this. This could be fun.
Well, I like playing with the lightsabers when they had it in Fortnite the first time, so I'm down to do it again.
And like they're adding X-Wings and TIE fighters and stuff. Could be cool.
Sheesh, I'm there.
You could be Bucky and Yelena.
Oh my god.
What a world.
That's so true.
What a world.
All right, hang on. Star Wars is winning me back now.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh yeah, I did watch Rogue One the other day.
Oh yeah.
So I can finally start watching Andor probably today.
We talked about it a little bit, but not
Yeah.
super in detail. How'd
Oh,
you like
man,
it?
I loved Rogue One a lot.
Hell yeah.
I
Oh,
gave
that's
it, I think,
awesome.
4.5.
That
And
is
then I looked back
awesome.
and I only rated the original Star Wars like 4 stars last time I watched it. So, like, it feels a little weird to have it higher rated than Star Wars, but,
That's fair. Yeah,
whatever.
dude. Rogue One's one of my favorites. I probably put it above most of the movies. I'm trying to
Yeah,
think. Maybe not like New Hope or Empire Strikes Back, but pretty much
fair
everything else,
enough.
I think.
I'll say the animated corpses in it was really off-putting.
Yeah.
Did not like that at all.
I don't like I mean, they should just not do it, but the Leia
Yeah.
one doesn't bother me that much because it's like, just like the end, it's like a quick little thing. It's still bad, but
Right, I
to
just think
have
they
a
shouldn't
full
do it at all.
character. Yeah, yeah. To have a full character in Tarkin, like in the movie, you just
Yeah.
see him and it's like an animated guy.
Yeah, it was weird. But with the Leia thing, they, like, kind of faked me out because I thought they were gonna not actually show her face because it was like, we
Uh,
see her from behind, and then she
yeah.
turns around and the camera flips behind her again, and
Mm.
I'm like, "Oh, they're just not gonna have her do it because we all know that that's Leia, so we know that
We
this
know
is
what's
right
going on.
before." Yeah, we know what's happening. And then they're like, "What did they send us?" And they were like, "Now we're gonna show you her face." It's like, "Remember this
Yeah.
thing from when you were a kid?"
And it was that I think she passed away only like a couple weeks before the movie came out. So it wasn't even supposed to be like a
Right, it was
thing.
just
Like
like
it
a
was
DA
just
thing.
yeah, I remember crying when that
Dang,
happened. I know. I was like, wow.
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 Yeah, good movie. And it was, like, made
Great
in a lab
movie.
for me. Greg Fraser, DP, Michael
Oh,
Giacchino
wow.
on the
I didn't
score.
know he was that's interesting.
Yeah,
It's
because I was
dude.
watching it and you see all, like, when the way he shoots, like, the planets and stuff
Mhm.
in the beginning, I was like, "Damn, this kinda looks like Dune a little bit." And then I'm like, "Oh, that's why. It's the same guy."
That rocks. He's great.
Yeah.
That movie's oh, dude. And that's a movie that went through like production hell. Like it had so many issues, reshoots, multiple
Mm,
directors coming in and out, and it worked.
yeah. Well, this is actually a good segue probably for I don't know if this is our last bit of news,
Mm.
but,
Cool.
speaking of production hell, it seems that the
Oh
Batman
yeah.
2 is no more. Seems
Okay.
that
We
it's
don't
not
know
happening.
that. We don't know that for
No.
sure. But word on the street from John Campia, there's been other people mentioning it here and there,
Mhm.
but it seems like a
Be doing
cancellation may be imminent.
yeah. So, I got the Batman cup with me today in memorial because man, this is depressing.
It
This is
really
so
is,
sad.
man. I'm not necessarily convinced yet. I don't think it's impossible. There's clearly a lot going on,
Yeah.
but it just seems so crazy to me to do it.
Yeah. It would be
What would
so stupid to kill off a pretty popular and successful Batman
yeah, I
universe.
mean, it made $800 million like peak pandemic.
Yeah, and, like, the Penguin show was, like, acclaimed. I know you
Yeah,
hated it,
great show.
um,
I didn't hate it. I didn't watch it
which is
yet.
worse.
I
That's
watched a
worse.
couple episodes.
Maybe they were one view away on the show from renewing the Batman 2, and they were like, "Well, clearly the interest isn't there, so just can it." So this is really your fault.
I know. I
Yeah.
know.
Well, I mean, we were worried for a long time. Greg Fraser, he's not gonna be able to shoot both Dune 3 and the Batman 2. Well, he doesn't have to worry about that.
Don't worry. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Only one
Dune
of those
3
movies
is
is real.
Is Dune 3 coming out before the Batman 2
Yep.
also? Like, if it sticks
I
to
think it comes
release, it
out
is, right? Next end of next year?
probably end of next year because I
'Cause
think
it's
they
filming this
start
year?
shooting this summer,
Yeah, that's crazy.
apparently. Yeah.
And Zoe Kravitz just signed on to direct a new movie with Robert Pattinson producing. Robert Pattinson
Yeah.
is seemingly in Dune 3, and he got cast in something else as well. It's not looking good.
Nope. It's really not. So,
I If it is canceled, I do hope they just kind of fold it into the DCU stuff. But then you get like another director doing a Robert Pattinson Batman movie, which feels weird. Like I don't know.
yeah, I'm excited for, like, in 10 or 15 years or however far down the line we have to get to when we find out what happened behind the
Yeah,
scenes to why it got canceled. Because it just does not make business sense. I mean, it is
it's
Warner Brothers, though, so I guess that makes sense
uh,
why they would make a bad business decision.
Those guys?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've had a big success the past couple weeks with the
True.
Minecraft movie and now with Sinners this week.
Oh yeah,
So.
and they should have some success in a couple weeks too with Final Destination. I think that'll do very well.
Yeah, and Superman. They're on their way up.
They are. I hope so.
The little indie studio that could, Warner Brothers.
Good for them. We've always been rooting for them. They've never done anything wrong or bad.
Well, the real thing is, if these movies make a lot of money, our guy Davey can get a big pay rise next year.
Hopefully, only 53 million a year is ridiculous for a man of his stature.
For the amount of value he gives to stockholders,
100%.
Ridiculous.
He should be making that an hour, quite frankly.
A minute,
second. Even. He should be president.
He should be God Emperor of the world.
I've always said that too. All right. On to the big stuff?
Yeah, on to the meat and potatoes, as they say.
Hell yeah. The greatest movie of all time came out, baby.
Minecraft movie. You rewatched
the Minecraft movie. We're doing a part 2 to our Minecraft episode.
There's just so much to talk about it. The themes are so deep.
It's so deep. There's so much lore to unpack.
Yeah.
All right.
No. Minecraft was dethroned at the box office this weekend by Sinners.
Shockingly close.
Yeah. Well,
I guess not that shocking, but
yeah, you can't underestimate the power of child brain rot. Which actually, side note, before we get to Sinners, child brain rot is a real thing. It was Easter yesterday or 2 days ago when this comes out. My younger cousin was there. She was saying "Skibbity Ohio Riz." The brain rot. Yeah,
in that
brain
order?
rot is real. Yes,
or just those words all together like
all
that.
Together like that. Skibbity Ohio Riz.
What does that even?
I don't think she knew what it meant, but I was like, awesome. "Wow, this is crazy."
We're so cooked.
Yeah, so the kids are
great. Skibbity Ohio.
Yeah, the brain rot is real, man. But yeah, thankfully we're fighting the brain rot this week with Sinners taking the number 1 spot. It's the highest grossing like fully original movie in like 6 years or something.
Yes, since the pandemic, it dethroned Nope, I believe.
Yes, so
it's also the first horror movie to debut with an A on Cinema Score since Poltergeist. So what, like 30, 35 years?
A long time.
Insane. I'll read the synopsis real quick just to get us going. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. This is a 4.3 Letterboxd average. I just saw now.
Wow.
The people love this movie. What are your thoughts?
Man, I love this movie. I went to see it in IMAX because I had to see it on the biggest screen possible, and like the whole time I was just like entranced watching it. I was like, it's like when you're watching a movie and like I was like maybe 20, 30 minutes in, and I already am like, yeah, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. This is amazing. And I'm itching to rewatch it. I'll probably have to wait till tomorrow. So
I rewatched it at this point, and I currently have a ticket booked for 70mm IMAX for Wednesday night in the big city.
Wow.
And I am very excited. Small chance I end up canceling it the day of because I'm tired, but I am so excited. Yeah, so what did you give it?
5.
Hell yeah.
First 5-star of the 2025.
Let's go, baby. I saw it Thursday night. I went, and oh my god, actually Thursday day, because it was like 3:00. I was so excited.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of hype about it for a while, and I loved it, man. Like you said, just entranced. There is a scene, roughly the middle of the movie, I think. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. There is a scene in the middle of this movie. Both times I saw it, it genuinely brought tears to my eyes. And it's not even like a sad scene or anything. Yeah. It's just so incredible. The people in my theater, like that scene ended and someone goes, "That was crazy," but it sounded like they were like on drugs or something. Like they were like tripping and they saw that scene, which is awesome.
I can't imagine going through that.
I know, it's got to be insane. but it is just beautiful. The first time I saw it, I gave it 4.5 stars, and then the second time I upped it to a 5.
Wow.
Now I'm pretty stingy with 5s. It was also my first 5-star of the year. I
Mm.
do think that the movie does have like some minor issues. Like I think towards the big climactic battle stuff, I do think it gets a little bit messy, but like I genuinely love everything else so much to where like I'm just kind of ignoring that.
Yeah, I've heard people be like, it's not a perfect movie or whatever. And like, sure, but I don't know if is such a thing as a perfect movie. So I feel like holding out for
Fair.
like, oh, like a perfect movie is like ridiculous. Not
Fair.
ridiculous, that feels harsh, but I feel like, I don't know. To me, it's like so clearly like a passionate, like you can feel
Yeah.
the passion in like every single shot of the movie. And like every aspect of the movie is incredible. Also written, directed by Ryan Coogler, uh, shot by Autumn Durald Arkapow, and I saw she was the first female cinematographer to shoot in like a full feature length film in
Wild.
IMAX, which is crazy that she's the
Wild.
first. But yeah, I mean, Coogler got the whole like team back together, basically production designer Hannah Beachler, who won an Oscar for production design on Black Panther and also worked on Creed. And then Ruth Carter, the costume designer, won for Black Panther as well, and she's back in this. And actually, I heard a story that she was apparently working on the Blade movie when it was originally going to be a 1920s set vampire
Oh
movie.
yeah, same.
And
Delroy Lindo also in this.
yeah, so she was working on costumes for that and like, working on it. And then Ryan Coogler calls her up and is like, "Hey, I'm making this movie," after Blade gets delayed indefinitely. And he's like, "Hey, I'm working on this vampire movie." And she's like, "Oh, cool. I'm already in that headspace, like thinking about that and designing for that period and vampires as well." So
That is
thought that
great.
was kind of a fun thing. And then
Yeah, I mean,
Ludwig back on doing the score. An incredible
oh,
score.
he is incredible, man.
Yeah.
This
I mean,
score,
this cements that he's up there with like he's easily one of the best, if not the best, of his generation.
yeah,
And
definitely.
he's closely approaching one of the best of all time.
Yeah, I agree. Back to your point about 5 stars earlier. I do agree that like no movie is perfect. I just like I not really spoiler. The big fight they have in the joint, I think is like pretty poorly shot, and there's extra characters that are there that aren't in any other scene, so it makes the garlic scene really weird because now there's these new people that are getting eaten, but we don't see
Yeah.
another point. It really stuck out on a rewatch.
Yeah,
That
I did notice that. I was like, I don't know who half these people are that are getting eaten.
yeah, you
But
can't
to me, I
tell.
was like, it's so hectic that I'm just like, and the moment itself is gonna be hectic.
Yeah,
And I get what you're saying, but to me, it didn't bother me so much. I was just like,
that's
oh, I
fair.
guess these people are dying.
Yeah, I just think
But
having like new guys show up in that moment. I think it was probably reshot at some point, and those characters were supposed to just like be in the background. But when
right,
you do the garlic scene of like these are the people we have here, and then the next scene there's more people getting bit, it was
yeah,
just that really. But again, I like everything else so much I don't really care that
yeah,
much. It just stuck out a bit.
right. I mean, if the biggest complaint you have against the movie is like there was like one scene and a
Yeah,
couple
yeah,
shots that I was like, this feels like I could use a little bit more background on who these people are. I
yeah,
feel like that's usually a pretty good sign though.
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean this cast is like
Dude,
insane.
Miles Caton, this is his first
Yeah.
performance. I keep like tweeting that and like putting it out there. It is blowing my mind.
No, it's insane.
He
His
is
voice is
incredible.
insane as well.
His voice, oh my God.
Yeah, and I think this is maybe the best Michael B. Jordan performance ever
I would agree for
in
sure. Just
anything I've seen him in.
on account of him doing two completely different performances. Like,
Yeah.
it's really when the movie opens and you first meet like Smoke and Stack, it's like, oh, that's Michael B. Jordan twice. That's fun. By the end of the movie, I'm fully like, these are two different guys.
Yeah.
Like it completely wears off that one person is playing these two characters.
Yeah.
And you can tell who's who, which is like even when the hats are off at points, like yeah, that's Stack, obviously. That's clearly Smoke. Like
that's my good friend Stack.
That's my boy Stack.
Yeah. No, I mean the difficulty in the performance of having to, portray these two guys that are so different, almost opposite, but still really similar in a lot of ways. It's really tough to pull off in a convincing way to play twins. And I feel like you said, I mean, like it's a little jarring the first time we meet them.
Yeah, like in a fun way.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh wow, that's crazy. Like it is them too. And like just the difficulty in having because they interact a lot. It's not like they're hiding the fact that like, like trying to do like camera tricks or whatever to make them interact less.
They're in the same scene quite a bit.
And they're interacting. Like Stack is lighting a cigarette for Smoke when we first meet them, and like they're hugging, they're interacting, and like so just the amount of work that you have to do with the body double to I saw an interview where Michael B. Jordan said that like since now he's directed a movie with Creed 3, he was kind of able to help Coogler out in filming this because he was kind of being able to direct the body extra or the body double and telling him like, here's how like I would react, here's the mannerisms that I'm using for this version of or this twin. So it's really impressive from him. I mean, everybody in it's great, but it's really just like, wow, this guy's double great.
Yeah, he really is. I'm excited to get like the 4K copy, and hopefully they include some of the making of and BTS stuff.
Yeah,
because it's really impressive. And Delroy Lindo in this movie, his performance I thought was like really, really great. Like I would like to see him get a supporting actor nom. I don't know if this movie's gonna like do a lot at the Oscars necessarily because it's coming out now, but I really, really,
I think it could
blown away. But I hope it does.
Because I can't imagine that many more movies coming out this year that have like this much of a not only like critical reception, but also like kind of like culturally take over. Because I feel like the only thing I see is people talking about Sinners and praising Sinners in a way that I haven't seen in like forever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I feel like this movie's gonna have like an insane like amount of legs.
I hope it does. I really do. I just worry because like festival season hasn't even started yet, and there's gonna be so much there. But I would love to see this movie get like original screenplay or just something. Just it deserves.
I think it'll definitely be represented at the Oscars.
Nice. Though, I really hope so because it is just. Also,
I think one of sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You
I was just saying, I think either one of Delroy or Miles. What's his last name? Catone.
Caton, I think it's pronounced.
Yeah, I think either one of Delroy Lindo or Miles Caton should be nominated for supporting actor. Just because it's like, if not both, but the fact that it's his first performance in the entire movie like hinges on him.
The greatest scene in the movie is entirely on his back for a lot. Like that is him through and through. And
I mean, the movie doesn't work if he's not as good as he is in it.
100%. I would also shout out Wunmi Mosaku. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Mm-hmm.
He plays
Annie, right?
Yeah, also in like Loki and Deadpool and stuff. But this was like the first real. She's good in Loki. No, I shouldn't say that. But she's really, really great in this.
Yeah,
she has like. I don't know if I would say it's like one of the hardest roles, but she's kind of the bridge between like the real world and the supernatural stuff. Like she is like a mystic, like she's spiritual. She knows what like a vampire is. She knows what a hate is. She does these like spirituality saving. I forget what they call it in the movie.
Yeah,
but like she protects Michael B. Jordan from afar with her like magic, basically. And she like. There's not a point in the movie where I'm like, that's a little far-fetched. Like every line she delivers about all this stuff is so realistic, and everyone reacts, all the characters react in such a realistic way that I'm never questioning that like this is happening.
Yeah.
But it's not too fantastical, but it's not too realistic. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. She's right. Clearly, listen to her. She knows what she's talking about. I think her performance is so good.
No, yeah, she was great in it. I'm the not too fantastical. I for like the first, I don't know, maybe close to an hour of the movie, I like straight up forgot that there was going to be vampires in this. For the first like 45 minutes, I'm just like so invested in these characters right away, and like, all right, what's going on? So like the Smokestack twins are back from Chicago, and like seeing how they interact with like the community and stuff. And like I was just so invested in the characters already, and then the vampires show up, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's right. This is a vampire movie."
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. That's maybe my favorite thing about the movie is just how patient it is. It's like the entire first hour or so up until you get in the juke joint. It's like, yeah, these guys are, they're seeing their old friends. They're trying to put this together. Like it takes its time. We're building out this world. We're meeting these characters. We understand their dynamics with each other. A lesser director or screenwriter or just somewhere along the way would scrap half of that and make it so they get in the joint and then they make that big final battle 30 minutes longer with this happening and this.
right.
And I really appreciate that that's not what we're getting here.
Yeah. It's really great, like to have so many characters in the movie that are all different and feel like their own person, and they all have their own lives and everything. And I care about all of them like equally is like really all like impressive.
Within like 45 minutes.
Yeah. And I mean, you can tell the like amount of care and detail that went into it, like writing this, because like, I mean, I didn't know about like the Chinese immigrants that was on the Delta, like in the South down there, like during that time. That's just not a thing that's taught in like history classes and stuff. And there's a cool documentary that one of the people that worked on that documentary about Chinese immigrants in the South was like a consultant on this movie. And so there was like a thing with like Chinese immigrants would like serve Black Americans that wouldn't be served by white Americans during that time. And they had like two stores. There's the one lady was telling a story, and they had two stores across the street, one serving white people, one serving Black people. And in the movie, like there's a scene where the daughter goes across the street to get the mom. And it's like, that's probably because she was working at the white store and had to go to the Black store. And it's just something that like not many people even really know about it unless you're like in that history. And it's just really fascinating to see that on the screen.
Yeah, definitely. I'm the same way. I didn't really know anything about that before this movie, but that scene where the daughter Lisa, it's one continuous shot of her leaving the store, and she goes into the store, and you immediately just see all the white people in their like fancy clothes, and it's like a whole different store, and you literally see her like walk between these two worlds, and they both like walk back and forth, and immediately you get what's going on. Like that scene sets up the historical context there in a way that's like really impressive, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, even the way, we haven't talked about him yet, but Jack O'Connell plays the main vampire, who's an Irish vampire. Yeah, Remick. And it's really fascinating that they go with an Irish person to be the vampire. And because I mean, he's talking about how like he faced kind of similar oppression, and the similarities that Coogler draws between, you know, Black American blues music from that time, the Reconstruction time, and like Irish folk music. And they're both born from, you know, poor people that have the poverty kind of forced upon them.
Yeah.
And the music and the similarities in that, but also the differences, and how like now he's trying to force them to like assimilate to,
definitely,
you know, gain community. And it's there's so much to it that I feel like I have to rewatch it 5 times to understand like half of it.
Yeah, and he's clearly the bad guy, but like you kind of get what he's saying. It's like, I mean, hey,
right? You know, like he makes a compelling argument.
He does, and like what you said about the assimilation. It's when they're all dancing in the juke joint, everyone's doing their own dance. And then the vampires that are out there with Remick, they're all doing Remick's dance, which I really love, because it's literally like, and you get this, but you are part of this now. Like, you're not You don't
Right.
really have yourself anymore. You're part of this group.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even pick up on the different dancing to them
It's
all doing
so
one. Yeah.
I I only realized it because I was like, "Oh, that's the Irish jig. That's fun." But then, like, they're all doing it.
Yeah. No, that's fascinating. But also like yeah, just the way that he like kind of forces them to, you have to kind of give up your culture. But
Mm.
then he's also is like, I want, he wants to get Sammy, right? That's the character's name.
Yeah, yeah,
He's like, I want to get Sammy because he likes his art and his music, and he's like, I want that for me as well.
yeah,
So it's kind of like you have to sacrifice and give up and kind of your individuality to be part of this culture that feels safe. Because he does warn them. He's like, like the guy that sold you this land is going to come back and kill you
yeah,
with the clan. And he's like, but if you assimilate, you'll have that kind of safety that you don't
yeah.
have now.
Yeah, and, like, we see him those 2 clan members, they're not, like they're still, kind of themselves in a way, but they don't have that, like, hatred anymore.
Yeah,
They're cool with what's going on all of a sudden. Again, they're not themselves, but it's
yeah,
interesting that you wash away not only community, but, like, hatred and what they really think and, like, what element do they have free will? Because I don't wanna get into that, but
yeah.
we'll cross that bridge
It's
later.
just there's just so much that it touches on, but in ways that feel kind of clever and smart and not heavy-handed, and like where it's
Definitely.
kind of lecturing. It's kind of like like you can watch it, and if you don't want to read into it, you don't have to. But there's
Yeah.
so much that you can read into, like
So
even like
much to
the
sink your
religion stuff.
teeth into.
Oh, there you go.
Get it?
Wow. I feel like you like had that like written down after you watched it, and you were like waiting for the right time. But like even the religious stuff that it kind of touches on, because I mean, kind of spoilery, but when Rennick
Yeah, yeah.
has Sammy in the water, and he's like about to get him, basically Sammy starts praying, and then Remick starts praying with him, and all the vampires start praying at the same time. And it's like it's just interesting. I don't know,
I
like what he's saying about.
Yeah, definitely. When that scene happened, I thought that the water was gonna turn into holy water and Sammy was gonna be safe. The first time I
Yeah.
watched it,
But I
it's
mean,
like,
that's
"Oh,
what
I
you would
get it."
expect from
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
traditional vampire movie, because you
exactly.
always get the like, Christ compels you or whatever to like
Yeah,
keep the demons away, but it doesn't work. And Remick says he's like, I hated those words, but they like brought me comfort or whatever
yeah,
when they forced the religion onto him. So it kind of says something, fascinating as well, because I mean, Christianity is not a religion that was like native to his ancestors in
yeah, and then it
Africa.
was
It was something that was kind of forced on him, and now his dad is in the church as well.
yeah, and same with Remick.
Yeah, it was forced on his people as
Yeah,
well, and so that's another similarity that they have as well.
yeah, and but he even says at one point, he's like, "I don't want your stories, I just want" right? Or does he say want? I think he says, "I don't want your stories, I want your music," or something like that. But then the second time I watched it, I thought he might have said want.
I
So
don't
I'm not
remember.
sure, but I'm gonna go with what I originally thought, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, because I very well might be. I forget exactly what
Okay.
he said, but if it is that he said, "I don't want your stories," it's like he seems like this sympathetic guy, but he still wants to like wash away this person's culture just to take from them, like white
Right,
people did at that time, and still today, obviously.
right,
But just like picking parts of black culture and other people's culture to kind of just pick up and take, and then washing away like the historical significance of that or anything that comes with it.
right. Yeah, like they just want the part of the culture that they like to like dance to or whatever, but they
Yeah,
don't want to,
exactly.
yeah, engage with it on any deeper level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And should we do spoilers? Because there's only really one like big spoiler thing I want to talk about that
Yeah,
I
we
really
could do
like.
spoilers.
Spoiler alert for sinners if you
Yeah, go watch it in
go
IMAX
watch it.
now,
Yeah, seriously.
as big as you can see it.
100%. It's so worth it. But like the last scene where not the last scene, but one of the last scenes where Sammy it's also the opening where Sammy walks into the church, he's holding the guitar.
Yeah,
I love everything about that so much because, like, he's been through, the most traumatic thing that can happen. He's just
yeah,
fought off vampires. He's lost pretty much everyone. And he goes in, and it's like, all right, I'm safe now. Like this is I'm home. I'm good. I made it through. And then his dad immediately, like before asking him if he's okay, anything, he sees him covered in blood, and he immediately wants Sammy to assimilate into religion. At that point, like he
Yeah.
just got away from that whole thing, and
Mm-hmm.
now he's being asked to lose himself and what he loves in order to be part of this greater thing. Like he didn't even escape what he really thought he was, and that's when he decides to escape and rely on himself and follow what he really loves. And I
Yeah.
just think that whole bit is just beautiful.
Yeah. And I like the line too where his dad tells him, like, put the guitar down, and he says, I can't. I mean, probably because he's probably shell shocked, and he's
Yeah,
like, I physically can't. But
yeah,
also, like, he like just can't, because it's like the music is what. And there's a big point made in the movie of the music. Certain people have a gift, and it can
yeah,
connect them to the past and the future all at once through music. And it's kind of like just the importance of creating art, and how they make art out of, like, like there's the scene where Delroy Lindo is talking about his friend who was
uh,
lynched,
that's
and
like
then
the
he just
Oscar
starts,
moment for him, I think.
yeah, and he just starts like humming, and goes right into singing about the thing. And
Yeah,
Michael B. Jordan is like, hey, you play the guitar, what are you doing? Like, you're just sitting there. And
yeah,
so it's just like, it's really fascinating to look at it from how Coogler views the importance of art and creating it, and how it connects
100%.
us.
And in that kind of montage at the end, when Sammy's looking back on everything that happened, there's a scene with Delroy Lindo, and I forget exactly what he says, but it's something along the lines of like how blues is theirs and no one could take it from them, and they brought it from their homeland, and it's just
Yeah.
like such a beautiful scene, and that's when he's really thinking of what he wants to do, and he sticks with it. And I think Delroy Lindo's performance, I can't emphasize enough, is so good. And
No,
like
he's incredible.
what you said, that whole story he tells about his friend that got lynched and leading directly into the humming and the singing, and it's such a low to such a high. It's just incredible. That's the clip that they're going to show if he is nominated
Yeah.
for an Oscar. Like that's it right there.
Yeah. Also, to shout out, the older version of Sammy was played by real life blues musician Buddy Guy.
Yes.
So that's just awesome. And now there's been a clip going around of him. It's like he's 88 years old. He's got cognac in his hand, and he's playing the guitar with one hand. Just like all-time cool guy.
He seems like the coolest dude.
But
It's
yeah.
yeah, and on that point, so the whole like mid-credit scene is really the ending of the movie, and so many people left both times I saw it before that scene, and I think it's really interesting that that's a mid-credit scene. But
Yeah.
like I get it, and they kind of build to it because like the credits start, and then you see Buddy Guy playing, and
Right.
you know it's older Sammy, and the name of the club he's playing at is Perline's, which I think is nice. I like that little
Yeah. Which
detail a lot.
the whole movie I was like, why do I recognize the actress as Perline so much? And then at the end I found out that I was the mayor from the Batman.
Yes, I did know that
They
just
asked her
from
about the Batman too,
yeah.
and on the carpet.
Right.
Man.
This is we're talking about like one of the most beautiful
Yeah, and I had
movies
to
in a
bring it
while.
back
And
to
no, I'm gonna make it worse. And I'm gonna be so slop and MCU brained right now. But I was like, fuck, she'd be really good as Storm. Like, she's my new fan cast as Storm. I
there you go.
I saw that exact interview that you were talking about. That's what
Yeah.
made me think of it, not the movie. I wasn't thinking that during the movie, like a record show.
I was
Not
just like,
that
I know that I've seen her before, but I
yeah.
can't place
And she's a very
she's in.
new, like very new on the like she just graduated Juilliard a couple years ago, I think, and got cast in like The Woman King, The Batman, and this. And it's like
Yeah.
straight out of
So
school. And
she's
she's
gonna be
great.
like, yeah, she's awesome.
She's really great. We haven't really talked about Haley Steinfeld. She's also really good in this.
Yeah.
She's like everyone's great. We're highlighting kind of everybody, but I mean they're all really
Yeah.
great.
It's also this
Like
very horny movie.
very, very much so.
Like most vampire movies,
Yeah,
very sexual in
that
nature.
drool scene is disgusting. I
It's
see so
crazy.
many people online thirsting over that. No, you got to draw a line somewhere. That is, come on.
Wow.
Uh, what I was going to say earlier. How do you feel about the mid credit scene? Does that kind of?
I thought I kind of viewed it more as like an epilogue than anything
Yeah,
because it
I
wasn't.
agree.
And I mean, you can kind of spin it off into a sequel. I know a lot of people are like, not everything needs to be a franchise with sequels and stuff. But I mean, I'd be down to see more movies of these if Ryan Coogler wants to make a million. I'd watch them.
I agree that not everything needs to be a franchise. This could be.
Yeah.
But I think. Oh yeah, sorry, you go.
No, I just was gonna say I saw a TikTok earlier today by
That's what
Kit Laser.
I was gonna say Kit Laser. This is exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, but I mean, he was like, how many black franchises are there by black storytellers with like I mean, basically an all black cast. Like, there's really none. So it would be cool to like actually have one.
Yeah, have that be a franchise.
Yeah, and I was like, wasn't even thinking about that. I was just like, cool vampire movie. I'll watch more.
And he gave like a couple ideas for like a prequel about Smoke and Stack and like their time in Al Capone's gang and in war and coming back home, and like you get Annie doing all that stuff, and then you do like a sequel with Stack and Mary in the 90s or in any time between, and then like you do what I would love to see that he talks about is like a spin-off of the indigenous people hunting the vampire, because there's a whole history there that we just kind of see, and I love that they're just there for one scene. Because like it would be so easy to do like a whole bit with them. They're there for one scene, we get what's going on, vampires are established, and they leave. I think it's great. I wouldn't mind seeing more of any of that stuff, honestly.
I like that they're like, what like the rules of our vampires. Like, we don't have to explain it. They're like, hey, this guy's not who he says he is. Like, I hope you didn't invite him into your home. And then they're like, leave. And they're like, all right, well, we tried to warn you. So that's it.
The second time I watched this, I watched it with my girlfriend, and she had knew nothing about it, and she was shocked that they were vampires. It was like the only person in the world that got the genuine like.
That's awesome though. Like to be able to experience it and not know that there's the vampire aspect of it.
So I didn't see the second trailer. I only saw the first one, which I thought gave away a lot. And then yesterday I was doing a video and I watched the second trailer to get clips and stuff. Mm-hmm. And they revealed that Stack is a vampire in that trailer.
Yeah, they reveal Stack and Mary as well.
Mary was in the first too, so I knew that, which is unfortunate that was like.
Yeah, because that would have been a cool twist to not know.
Yeah, 100%. I get that they have to market the movie and like Haley Steinfeld vampire, but I thought it was crazy. They show the scene of Stack at the door, like pressing against it in the second one.
Yeah.
And they show like Cornbread getting they show a lot of people as vampires. I was surprised.
Yeah. Oh man, Cornbread. That was a great scene. He's awesome, like, invite me back in.
Yeah.
Like, you've been coming in and out all night. Why do you need to invite now? He's like, well, it'd be rude.
And I there's a moment where Mary's first bit too, where Cornbread's guarding the door, and she goes back and she's like, "You're gonna let me in, or you're gonna keep blocking the door?" And then it pans out, and there's so much empty space. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah. Oh. Also, I really liked the scene with Delroy Lindo. It wasn't even a scene, just the one kind of line he had where Smoke tells Sammy to go get Stack, and then he finds him, and him and Haley Steinfeld are in the room, a little busy, and he's like, "Oh," and he leaves, and I forget what he said, but he's at
the door.
Yeah, he said something.
He's like, "Oh, he's busy in there," or something like that. Oh, he's busy, or something like that.
Oh man, I'll say this though: the garlic scene, I was annoyed at Jamie Lawrence. Is that her name?
Oh yeah, Berlin.
Yeah. I was like, come on, just eat the garlic. I get it doesn't taste good.
No one wants it. Delroy Lindo, and that seems so funny too. He's doing like a whole, he's shaking it. Goes, I'm good. That scene, I don't know if I love that bit. It seems weird to me.
I like that bit of having them all eat a piece of garlic to prove they're not vampires.
I like that part, but even beforehand, where they see the guy and they're like, "Oh, he got bit. Let's bring him out." Like that whole, I think they wanted to get Smoke and Sammy outside to see like the vampires dancing, and that's just how they did it. Yeah, but I don't know. That bit was just a little weird to me. Not in like a crazy bad way. I just thought it stuck out a little bit. I think for me personally.
Okay, maybe it will on a rewatch. Like I said, I gotta see this like 10 more times.
Yeah,
but
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. This is the best movie
Same. I
of the
think.
year so
Yeah,
far, easily.
yeah. Like
Probably might be the best movie of the year, period,
I was gonna say, it
when it's all
it
said and
very well
done.
could be. I it was around this time last year I watched Hundreds of Beavers, and that was my number one
Mm.
for the whole year. And I was like, oh, I saw that pop up in like my memories, and I was like, you know what? We could have a bit of a repeat.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a month after Dune Part 2 last year. That
That's
stayed at my
true.
number 1 last year, so
That's true. That would be really funny if it
happens again.
happens again. What was my 2023? I'll check really quick. Oh, it was Guardians 3. That was like June, kind
Mm,
of around the same time.
yeah. So
Um,
halfway through the year is usually when you see the best movie of the year
yeah, I
already.
guess so. We have anything else we want to say? I will say, back to the Kit Laser TikTok. He also said a Remick like origin story. Wouldn't mind that either. I gotta
That'd be
be
kinda
honest.
cool.
I
Yeah.
like Remick a lot.
I mean, I'm down for whatever story Ryan Coogler wants to tell.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, anything. The next thing
dude,
he does after this, I'm sad.
he's so good. Like
He's easily
after
one of the
this,
best of the generation,
100%. I
if not,
think
I mean,
he's what, like
it's like
35, 36.
36.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Apparently his girlfriend, like, well, his wife now, but like back when they were in college, I think, like
Yeah.
he couldn't afford like a screenwriting software, and she bought it for him. It was like $300.
Yeah.
Now look at him. Like I think that's crazy. And now they're
Yeah.
happily married. Sick.
What a story.
Love that guy. What a story.
Yeah.
Great movie. I don't know. I think we've.
I will say, speaking of his wife, though, I saw one tweet that made me laugh. They're like, after all the amount of oh my gosh, I can't think of cunnilingus in Sinners. I know Ryan Coogler's wife is happy. I was like, okay.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I guess shout out to Ryan Coogler and his
Shout out
wife.
Ryan Coogler. He's not a who is it? Is it DJ Khaled?
Yeah, it's DJ
It's
Khaled.
like,
He's
yeah.
like, I won't do that. A man doesn't do that, or he's not like Batman
Yeah.
either. Apparently,
Oh, that's true.
they said Batman
True.
canonically doesn't do that.
That's true. Only Zack Snyder's Batman.
Yeah, real wife guy Ryan Coogler though. Shout
Yeah.
out to him.
Hell yeah.
Well, I mean, we brought up Batman. We can kind of pivot to a different Superman.
Let's hear it. Different Ben Affleck.
Well,
character.
Ben Affleck superhero. Daredevil Born Again
Nice.
finale.
Hell yeah. So this is the first we've talked about the whole season, really? Because
Yeah, I mean, I briefly talked about like my thoughts on the first 2 episodes, I think.
And I did spoil the Foggy thing for you before that.
Yes, yeah. But I mean, it was
Famously.
already spoiled for me before you spoiled it, though.
Nice.
I'd seen it on Twitter. But
Cool.
yeah, what did you think of the season? Because you had seen the original Daredevil show, and I haven't. So
yeah, the season as a whole, I don't really know where I land. I think it's mostly good. Like I there's very few episodes or bits where I'm like, they are there, which isn't really a thing in the original Netflix Daredevil. I think it's easily the worst season if we're like saying it's 4 seasons of the same show.
Right,
It's
right.
not even close. It's clear away. But I think that the overhaul they did, they clearly tried their best to fix stuff. You can really tell episodes 8 and 9, and some, it's sprinkled throughout. They get the reshot scenes in there to make it work. But I think it's clear that that was the best decision that they could have possibly made. I think episode 8 and 9 are like really, really great. I don't know if they're necessarily on the same heights as any of the original stuff, but I think it's the closest we get. And the opening of episode 1 too. But I think, well, should we just do right into spoilers for this?
Yeah, I mean, it's been
There's
out
not much.
for long enough now.
Yeah. I think I do think that sometimes the characters, a lot of the side characters are pretty flat up until the last 2 episodes. Credit where credit's due.
Right.
I think Daredevil and Kingpin are pretty consistently great throughout the show, but I don't know how much of that is like new material versus these guys have been great for 10 years and they're like elevating what they have. But then again, episodes 8 and 9, you really see what this show could and should be for season 2. I think the Muse stuff isn't great.
It's really not good at all.
I think that episode specifically was the one where I was really like, oh, we're not cooking anymore.
Yeah, episode 7 was my least favorite episode by far.
Totally agree. totally agree. I know a lot of people don't like episode 5, which is like the bank kind of
I
standalone
like the
episode.
bank one.
I like it a lot. I think it's fun. I
I
think
thought
it's
it was
silly.
fun.
I agree. It's mostly a lot of fun. And then like there's a couple scenes sprinkled throughout that feel like episode 7 to me that you kind of just see briefly. That's
Mhm.
like pre-reshoots. And there are some scenes with like really rough ADR at points, especially in
Yeah.
like the Punisher stuff in I think episode 4 maybe
I think it
or
was
3.
4 or 5 maybe. No,
Hmm.
5 was the bank one, so I think 4 Punisher.
Yeah, I think it might be 3
Oh,
actually.
either
'Cause it
3 or
was
4,
right
one of
after
them.
wait, oh wait, no. Yeah, no, you're right. It is 4. It is 4 because it's
Okay.
3 is the one with the white tiger stuff, and then it goes right into that.
Right, right, okay.
And
Yeah, the
I
White Tiger was a dead end, it turns out. It
yeah,
just kind of at the end, they're like, "Oh, this guy did it."
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and that guy is like a character, Cole North. I'm not super familiar with him, but I know a lot of people were upset that they like kind of ruined the character because he's supposed to be one of like the good cops in the anti-vigilante task force thing.
Is that real, though? People upset on Twitter about a comic character nobody's ever heard about
I
before?
mean, like 7 people are. Yeah.
I know, but, like, that happens, like, with everything. They're like, "Oh, they
Yeah, yeah.
butchered this character." It's
And I
like, it's not a
also
big deal.
I also think that they could just redeem him in the future. Like I don't think he
Right.
is past redemption.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the season?
I thought it was alright to
Nice.
good.
Okay.
I lean more good than bad, obviously. Like, I
Yeah.
really liked all the stuff with Bullseye,
Bullseye's great.
and I was, like, kind of into the White Tiger trial and stuff, but then after that, it just felt like White Tiger didn't matter, like, after he died.
Yeah.
I was like, "Alright, he's just,
You
useless now."
really feel the effects of that for like an episode, and then it's
Yeah.
briefly brought up at the end.
Yeah, and then the Muse thing, I was like, "This can be interesting," and then he was just, like, just some freak at the
Yeah.
therapist's office, and
Who like
I'll
he
say it, his therapist girlfriend really
yeah.
irritated me. She's
Yeah,
like, "I
especially
saved
at the very end.
myself." No, you were about to die.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
even close.
I think you can really feel that like Karen. I know you didn't watch the original stuff, so she doesn't really mean that much to you necessarily. But
No,
I
but
think you can feel her
I was
sense.
like yeah, I mean, I don't know, obviously, the impact that she had in the original show, but I was like I liked Karen in the first episode. I was like, "Oh, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like," I liked the interaction she had with Matt or whatever, and I was, like, into it, and then she left, and I was like,
Yeah.
"I don't like this new therapist lady." I was like, "I want Karen back," and I
Yeah.
barely know her.
Yeah.
And then she came
Yeah,
back, and I was like, "Let's go,
I
finally."
I love that they're doing the Punisher love triangle thing. That
Yeah.
was like there's been like a thing between Karen and Frank in the past stuff, but that was like the first time it was really directly like, oh, we're in a love triangle now, Daredevil, Punisher, and
That's
Karen.
I liked the gif of, Daredevil looking at Punisher and then back at,
Oh
Karen.
yeah,
He's just like, "Wait a minute,"
yeah.
because he can, like, sense their heartbeats or whatever.
Yeah, their heart beating, the blood pumping. I
Oh,
think I think it's the craziest and luckiest, I mean, not necessarily lucky, but how, like, poignant this was to real life events, especially with the finale stuff.
yeah.
Like, I it's crazy how it lined up. It really is.
It was
Like,
nuts.
not to get too
Yeah,
into, political stuff, but, like, Fisk has a line in the last episode where he's like, "No due process, like, we're gonna
yeah,
make stop and frisk look like nothing." Like, it's crazy.
yeah. Also,
Yeah,
the one sequence was where he rips the guy's jaw
yeah,
off
that was
was
wild.
crazy.
That was wild.
I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, I think we're going to a really interesting place in season 2. I
Yeah,
know it's been memed to death, but it is so funny at the end. He's like, "We need an army," and I even let myself. I was like, "Oh shit, we're doing the Defenders! Like they're gonna do it. They're
yeah.
really gonna bring them over here."
You'd think they
Then he
would.
walks out, and there's like 3 cops: Cherry, Heather,
And
and
Karen.
Karen.
Yeah. What are we doing? I will say though, I've seen a lot of people online like, "Well, where's Spider-Man at? Like, he just turned the power
Yeah,
off in the whole city. Like, Spider-Man should be here." And I'm like, you can't think like that for these movies and shows because like they're not going to be able to be in every single thing. Like,
I do agree, but I do think this is such a big thing that like if it's never mentioned that he was even just like say he's doing something just like mention it in Brand New Day or something. Like it's such a major event that
Right.
like if he's just letting Kingpin do all this, it's kind of wild. Like I agree that you can't hold it against the show or anything.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there, but it's such a
Just
big
like
deal that
one
it's like
line in Brand New Day.
one
And
line. I
I'm
think it'd
fine.
be fun if in season 2 you just see a guy webbed up. Like you don't need just do that much. That's like bare minimum. Like you just can't make it like, oh, he doesn't care. He's fine.
Yeah.
People say Doctor Strange they should, but this isn't his stuff. I don't agree with any of that. But
Yeah,
like
he's just worried about protecting that rock.
yeah,
Well, not anymore,
exactly.
but
I would love a world where this leads to like a Defenders thing with Spider-Man in it. But I think it'll probably be pretty much taken care of by the end of season 2.
yeah.
But I'd love some sort of like Devil's Reign Defenders. You get all the Netflix Defenders, you get Punisher, you get Daredevil, you throw in maybe a Moon Knight and a Spider-Man. You have them take down
Yeah,
Fisk
bring
and his
Moon Knight
army.
back.
Do a soft reboot on Moon Knight and bring him back. Just make him like actually a street level guy.
Yeah.
Like, oh
Or have a
man, I
giant bird
throw Kate
god
Bishop
fight.
in there too. Yeah. Do a kaiju battle
Yeah.
at the end.
I might have a hot take here on the finale though. I thought that it wasn't that great.
Yeah?
Like I think it had, I'll talk like the kids here. I think it had hype moments and aura.
I think it had Skibbity Ohio Riz,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, like I think it had like a lot of like some cool moments, but overall I was just like, "Oh, that's it." Like I feel like I wanted more out of a finale. And I know that they did break up as there was originally going to be 18 episodes, so they kind of split it. So it's really like a mid-season break.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
But
I think it was kind of anticlimactic.
yeah.
But I also think it did like a good enough job building up stuff that
Yeah,
I'm
like it got me excited enough like I'll watch season 2 next year, but
like I'm trying to think of an example, but like there's shows recently, like I'll say The Bear season 3, like there's shows that clearly do that break and I don't really find it satisfying. At least for me, I found the Daredevil finale like okay, we're back to the status quo. Like he's Daredevil. Oh, quick complaint actually about the season. This ended up bothering me quite a bit by the end. They do this, I think, at least once an episode, where we have Matt and he's like, "Oh man, I want to be Daredevil," and we have Fisk and he's like, "Oh man, I want to be Kingpin," and they each do something that pushes them closer to that direction, and they cut between the two events, and it's like, "Oh look, they're kind of similar, these guys." Oh, hey, they both want to be. And every single time either of them does anything, we cut to the other one doing it. And we go back and forth, which is fine. It's cool if you do it once or twice. But when you do it every single episode, it's like, hey, these guys have some parallels, huh? It's like, yeah, I know. You show me this every week for 9 weeks. I get it. They're similar. That's the point. It really, like, when they did it in the finale, I was like, come on, I get it. I know.
They did love cutting between the two of them, being like, "Isn't this crazy, huh?"
Yeah, they really did, man. But I'm really excited for season 2. I love these characters. I love this world. I love the street level stuff. It's refreshing to have an MCU project that I mostly really, really liked.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see this team go to work next season.
Yeah, I really do wonder because that might be a spoiler.
They got to have defenders in season 2.
I think they at the very least do a cameo. I don't know if they do like big finale. Here's everyone teaming up to fight Kingpin kind of thing. Right. But I don't think this is a spoiler. Do you mind if I do a light spoiler? Maybe I'll warn you. It could be. But in season 2, we know Matt gets like the black and red suit. First good live action Daredevil suit. There, I
have seen that on Twitter. Him in the black suit.
So you didn't. So there's these guys called the Hand in Marvel, and they were in the first couple seasons, and they're like these ninjas. One of the things they do is like slow down their heartbeat so Matt can't like sense them. Whole thing, and. I think so with that suit, I think he's going to like lead the Hand and that's his army. But I also fun fact, apparently Charlie Cox got sick because he had to swim in the Hudson River.
Yeah, I was going to say, they kept chucking him in the river.
And then he got sick and they had to pause filming for a couple days. Poor guy.
I mean, how do you not build that into the production schedule? If you're chucking the guy into the Hudson River, I mean, even once he's going to get sick.
Insane work. But I do really hope we get the Defenders in some capacity, even just like a scene where he talks to them. I think again, it's like the Spider-Man thing. I get that not everyone can be everywhere. I totally get it. But when something this big happens, it's like and we've made Daredevil canon. Like that is a thing that happened in this world,
Right.
which I some would say that that was always the case. Me, by the way, but now you can't be like where like you could say Iron Fist is off doing something, but like they're all
Right.
just gone. Like I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, I'm just like when I'm watching like a Daredevil show, I'm like not really expecting any other heroes to show up and like save the
Yeah,
day
it's fair.
because I'm like like they're gonna have Daredevil be the guy.
And fair. And I do think that is like I don't know if I want to say downside because I think it's worth it, but one of the effects of like firmly planting this in the MCU because it
Mhm.
was always kind of MCU like adjacent, but it
Right.
was like they'd reference stuff, but not really specifically. So you were never like, "Hey, where's Spider Man?" But now
Right.
it's
Right.
like this guy knows Spider Man. He was in a movie with him, so
He
it's
was his
like
lawyer.
he was his lawyer, really good lawyer. They really love the really good lawyer bit.
They do.
I love
That's
that
the
bit.
favorite.
Like it's like, yeah, man, you met She-Hulk a couple weeks ago. Call her up. She can handle Kingpin real quick. Like
Yeah, it would be
it's not
no
a
contest.
yeah, exactly. It's not like an in-universe like thing. I wonder if she would be good on the Defenders team. I wouldn't mind that.
Maybe we'll find out next season, next year.
True. That's the other thing too. It's like you can't get Spider-Man, Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. Like their Kingpin doesn't stand a chance. You gotta, which is where in the comics the Thunderbolts come in. Which, but that's clearly not what they're doing for this one,
Yeah.
unless they do like another team, which I think would be cool. If you have like I don't know who you get, like Abomination, Zemo, some guys protecting him. But then you got to get like Doctor Strange because you can't get him, you can't let him be that strong. I
I
don't
love
know.
that
It's
adding one thing makes it so complicated to where you
yeah,
have to add like 5 different teams.
yeah. Now we'll really make
That
it
soft
smooth.
reboot is really gonna save them a whole lot.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much more to say on Daredevil. I
Same.
thought it was fine, but
Oh, I one more
excited for
thing.
next season. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Last thing, I'm really looking forward to the Punisher special presentation.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're bringing that back.
They set that up and with the dumbest cop on earth.
Dude, I love that though because it's like, yeah, these guys are idiots. They think that like
Yeah.
he thinks that like the Punisher respects him for what he does. Like
Yeah.
that's awesome. This guy, like he's of course he's an idiot.
Yeah, but it's like, have you seen one thing ever in your life when they're like, "Hey,
Yeah,
shake my hand," you just don't do it. Say
yeah.
no,
I
man.
love that. It's like this is my idol, and he wants to shake my hand. Anthony from New Jersey, you moron.
Shout
And
out.
I do wonder if Tony Dalton's swordsman is going to be part of this team that they're building, or if he's going to be in the
Maybe.
Punisher special presentation. Because that would be pretty sick if it's like this super like TV mature rating of Punisher and Swordmaster just slicing through these guys.
That
That's
would be
awesome.
sick. Then they can have Kate Bishop show up.
They could. Oh, yeah. One last thing I'll say for real, I still think Foggy's alive.
Uh, all right. I mean, isn't it like in the comics he's faked his death
Yeah.
before or whatever?
I'm totally willing to accept that I am probably wrong, but I can't shake the feeling.
I just feel like since they already planned to do the show without him, that they were like, all right, they really want him back, so we'll just kill him off in the first episode instead of off screen.
Yeah, and I agree, but then they did the overhaul, and I'm sure they kind of were like, "Do we have to kill Foggy?" So, but all those scenes were
True.
already shot with him dead, so they were like, "Bring him back at like the end of season 2 because this is all one long story." And then you're
Right.
kind of like back to the status quo. Part of me was kind of expecting to see him in one of those cages at the very end. I was like,
That'd be
wouldn't make
sick.
any sense. I wouldn't put money on it, but
All right. I was gonna just say we should put money on it, but I guess not.
hey, I mean, put a little money on it. That's a business write-off.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Uh, speaking of Daredevil, what? Hold on.
Okay.
I'll get to something.
All right. While you're thinking of
Daredevil,
that, I'm also gonna
Swordsmaster.
try and think of something
Oh, but you're better than
to
me,
get
Adam.
there. No. I was
Okay.
struggling for this.
Speaking of the Punisher special presentation starring John Bernthal, how about a guy that burnt all the zombies in The Last of Us season 2, episode
Oh,
2,
the zombies. That's
with a
pretty good.
flamethrower?
That's pretty good. All right. I don't know if I'll be able to top that one actually.
Hmm.
Trying to think. There's no connection here
You know
from
who else could
Daredevil.
show up in Daredevil? Ghost Rider, played by Gabriel Luna, star of The Last of Us season 2.
Oh
He's kind of
yeah.
my own. He's my only through
Yeah,
line
you
in
keep
all
going
of
to
these.
Tommy here.
I can only think of Tommy.
Well, I wonder if once the Fantastic Four get brought over to New York, if maybe next season we'll get Pedro Pascal in it. Since
Nice.
he's not going to be filming too much for The Last of Us
That's
anymore.
true. That's true. He'll be on set for a couple hours.
I don't know. That's the best I can
That's
do.
good. No, I think we nailed it. I think we got three
All right.
really great ones.
All right. So let us know what your favorite segue was, and we'll stick with that one in the final edit.
Yeah. It's perfect.
Yeah. So Last of Us season 2, episode 2. It finally happened. They did it.
I've been dreading it since that announcement came that they were making a show.
They killed off Pedro Pascal.
I have a lot of feelings, and I don't really. So we're filming this Monday morning or Monday
Mhm.
afternoon.
Yes.
But so we just watched this episode last night, so I really don't know where I'm at a lot of this stuff. They're changing stuff, mostly a little stuff, but some bigger stuff that I don't like. And you go, you. How do you feel about it? Because I'm really,
I thought it was a pretty good episode. I was into it. I was like, I mean, I do not like Abby, so I'm curious if they're gonna,
yeah,
because I know in the game it's like you hate Abby for like half of it, and then you play as Abby,
yeah,
right? And you like kind
and you
of
can, which
understand her
that's
side and stuff.
kind of one of the things they're changing because you don't know that like her dad was a doctor. You don't know.
Well, she says it. She's like
Oh, in the
the
show, yeah, but in the game, I mean, you don't know that
oh right,
until
okay,
you play as her, which is like hours after, like you're like halfway through the game, and you
right.
find all this out, and it's like, oh, and I think they're kind of changing some of that stuff because it's like a different medium, obviously, but also
Mhm.
because the response to the game, like I think they're trying to kind of make Abby a more sympathetic character right from the start, but I don't know if I love
I don't
that.
think they succeeded in that though.
I know that's another thing I struggle with is just like the idea like I okay, not to get into a Last of Us 2 rant because again, I'm not one of those people. I think it's fine, whatever. I like the game. The game's fun. But like in the even in the like after the making of the episode stuff, they're like that's the thing. We don't want you to think Abby's the villain. She's not the villain here. And it's yeah, I get what you're saying. Bad stuff makes more bad stuff happen. In her eyes, Joel is the villain. 100%.
Right.
He killed her dad. That's fair. She is the villain. Like she killed
Yeah.
we understand in stories that there's more stuff going on. We get all that, but it doesn't change like we can feel a way about this happening that is like we understand like the best villains are sympathetic villains. A lot of villains you can kind of understand their motivations. It doesn't make them better like it doesn't make it so
Doesn't make
like
them
you
not a villain.
support them over yeah, exactly. And the whole framing of this has always just bothered me a little bit. But I do like I don't hate Abby as a character. And I think as the show goes on, I don't know how much of it'll be in this season or next season, but she does become a more sympathetic character. And you know, we see Ellie go down a different path, and that really is like I think it's good. I just hate the idea that like, oh, you can't dislike Abby. It's like right now, why
Yeah.
not? Like she right
Yeah.
now, why
The
wouldn't
way they
we?
framed the entire show, I mean, off these first 2 episodes, it's framed as she is the villain. Like when we're
Yeah.
first introduced to her, like yeah, she's mourning all the fireflies and
Mhm.
stuff and like we know obviously Joel killed them all, but then she's like I don't know, like it feels like I'm not feeling super sympathetic for her because I'm
Yeah.
just meeting her.
And
And all those people that
exactly.
died were like nameless, faceless people to me as a viewer.
And Joel did what he did to like save Ellie's life. Like and that's a
Right.
whole other discussion people freak out about if like, oh, if he was right or wrong. That's a whole other controversy within the many controversies of this game. But
Yeah.
like she hunted the man down across like a state to find him and kill him in cold blood and torture him for hours. Like
Yeah.
this isn't like and you know that's well, I don't want to get into spoilers, but like it's not the same thing, and that is the point. I know that's the point, but like I don't know. I don't know. And that's another thing like I think that that's one of the things cuz in the game when you're playing she's straight up a villain. You don't know anything about her. She pops up, Joel helps her. You're like, "Wow, what a nice guy Joel is. He's always helping people." And then her and her friends do that, and you don't know what their motivations are. So I
Right.
feel like that almost makes it more so that like that because now we know why we should be sympathetic to her, but we're not because of what she did.
Right.
Whereas in the game, you don't know what's really going on, and then you see all this play out, and you're like, "Wow, that's really sad." Like I feel bad for her.
Yeah. Like it would have been way better, I think, if in the first episode we don't see Abby at all.
Mm.
And then like maybe if you want to do at the end like them walking up.
I think that works, like that bit at the end.
Right, that would work. But if we don't see like the backstory and then episode 2 we don't really see them that much until like we can just be following her and she's like sliding down the mountains or whatever, getting chased by all the zombies or what clickers or whatever. And then like have Joel save her and you're like, what?
I was gonna say actually, but
I thought I called them the wrong thing again, and I was like, dang, I'm gonna look like a fool now.
Technically they aren't all clickers. Some of them were
well, the little freaks that were chasing her.
Yeah, hell
and then like just have Joel save her or whatever, and then just the shotgun right to the thing. Instead of the whole like have it so drawn out. Because like you said, like I don't feel sympathetic to her just because I know that some people that she knew died.
Yeah. Like died killing a girl again to get a vaccine, but also I'm of the belief that vaccine wasn't going to happen. There's no way. You have these random people doing a thing in the middle of nowhere in the post-apocalyptic world. What are they going to do? How are they going to distribute it? What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Not the point.
But and then like if they start the next episode, like if they just had this episode be they killed Joel and like obviously Ellie's there and like it's like no or whatever, and then that's it. Like he just dies and they don't explain anything. Like we don't get a whole like that was my dad. Like speech. Like and then the season 3 opens with the fireflies getting slaughtered by Joel and it's Abby finding her dead dad on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. I just to be clear, I do like this episode a lot. I think it's a good episode.
Yeah, same.
I just have I don't even know if I call them issues. This is just the stuff to talk about. I feel like when it comes to this stuff, and back to stuff I don't like about it. After saying that, I didn't like the opening of the episode with like Abby dreaming, and it's like,
that was.
I just thought that was kind of weird that there's like 2 of her, and it's like, don't go in there. Like I get doing a dream of like the trauma thing. I just thought it was a weird way to do it.
Yeah, everyone's obsessed with having 2 of the same person on screen nowadays.
So true. It's an epidemic.
Yeah, that's the thing of 2025, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
They're like, how can we get one person to play 2 of themselves?
How can we pay?
I don't know. Just have her
one
dream.
Person. Yeah.
Yeah. How can we have one person do 2 roles and only pay them once?
Yeah, exactly. I also, not to just complain about this, because again, I really do like the episode. I do not know how I feel yet about them swapping Dina and Tommy, because in the game, Tommy's there when all that happens. And there's no, like, I do like the infected, like, siege on Jackson. I think that stuff's cool. I think that's, like, a good thing to do. And then, you have, like, it's kind of caused by Abby and her friends, so that's more motivation for like, for the like Tommy and Ellie and all those people to be like, oh, we don't like them, as if they needed more. But I feel like I like how they're giving Dina and Joel a relationship, and I think it fleshes out Dina's future motivations better than the game, because in the game it's like she's Ellie's girlfriend, she's gonna come along on this adventure. Like I feel like it works better. She might feel blamed because she called him Joel, and that's how they knew, or she just liked Joel, and now this happened. But I don't like. I feel like Tommy should be there. I don't know. And again, it doesn't have to be just like the game. This is just like I get the change stuff. Obviously, this is just like I don't even know how I really feel about all this yet. I'm just kind of discussing it.
I'm curious to see like Tommy's reaction to him dying. I mean, Also, I liked the scene at the end after the siege where Tommy and his wife, I don't remember her name, but they like kind of
Maria, I think.
Well, Tommy and Maria, but they like embrace in the street after, and like they both kind of start collapsing into each other and holding each other up at the same time. I was like, wow, that's a really cool moment. And now he's gonna get like the most devastating news, even more devastating news on top of hey, your whole town just got slaughtered, basically.
Yeah, definitely. And I think he could definitely attribute that to Abby as well, because how they got there. And during the whole siege thing, there was one shot I really loved, and it's like kind of off to the side where there's a guy and he like has a bitten arm and someone just hands him a gun. And I just
Yes,
thought that
yeah.
was like super.
Yeah, he hands someone a gun to put him out
Yeah.
of his misery, don't let him turn, yeah.
There was a lot of stuff during that whole bit that I really liked.
Yeah, I thought the siege was really it was I liked it a lot.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
really fun.
It was yeah, I was like, damn, I kind of wish I could play through this in the game. This is awesome. This whole
Yeah,
bit.
that so is that not in the game, the siege?
None of that's in the game. The infected like going into Jackson.
Oh,
No,
wow.
that's all new. A lot of like they're doing a lot. They're changing a lot. But like it's not
Interesting.
stuff that's like, super
Right, right.
huge. So gotta just kind of see how it all plays out. But another
Yeah.
one of the changes that they're doing is which I actually do like this. There's stuff I like, everybody. I feel like I'm so
Uh-huh.
negative about this. I do really like the um Abby's friends when she's like torturing and killing Joel. Her friends, like, they're not really on board. I mean, they're like they get why she's doing it and they're there and they're like
Right.
doing stuff, but they're not like in the games, they're all in. They're like shooting, like they're there to like kill her.
Yeah,
It's what they're there to do.
yeah, they're
But
like,
here
"Alright, you're dragging this out for too long,
yeah,
Abby."
exactly. They were clearly on board. They went with her, and now it's actually happening. And they're kind of like, "Oh, we're," and some less so. Like I think Danny Ramirez's
I was gonna
character is
say,
kind
Danny
of
Ramirez seems
yeah,
very on board with it.
very on board.
He
And then
wants
you
to kill
have
Ellie also.
yeah, he really does. And then you have I think her name's Mel, who's like the nurse, and she seems like genuinely concerned about Dina and like genuinely like I'm gonna knock her out. She'll be out for an hour. Everything's gonna be all right. Like I think she really does care. And then
Right,
she's crying when what's happening is happening. And I do like that change because I think it makes like the future stuff better.
right. Yeah, it makes them feel more like people and not just like, "Oh, these people are evil." Like,
Definitely.
it makes it easier to kind of forgive them if they have
Yeah,
hesitancy than if they're just like, "No, we're just gonna kill this guy."
definitely. And at the same time, though, I almost feel like it makes Abby look worse. Like,
Yeah.
which is, I don't know if that's like a purposeful effect of that.
Right.
And I don't know if it's fair to think that necessarily, but I really like all of her friends are like, God, like I feel like they made her like extra fucking evil.
Yeah. Well, they had to make up for her not being so jacked.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of get why people are a little like people are insane. I don't get why like the
Yeah.
insane people, but like her being jacked is kind of important, I guess. But also, I don't care that much
Right.
personally. I
I
think
just
Caitlin Dever's really good. Is it Dever or Dever?
I have no idea.
I think Dever. She was on the
Yeah.
Royal Court, Brittany Broski's Royal Court. She seems
Oh.
delightful, and book smart.
Yeah, and she's in that annoying ass commercial for, I think, Booking.com, where
I
she's
saw
like an
that.
actress and they're like, "Put more mud on her face. Put more mud on her face." And they're like, "All right, we're going to lunch," and it's her at the spa.
I haven't seen that. That
And they're like, "You
rocks.
want a mud mask?" It plays well, that's because you don't get to the movies early enough, man. They play that shit
You go to the
every
movies
time.
before the trailers even start, and there's like
Sometimes I get there a
commercials.
little early.
A little early is oh my god! I got
Sometimes I
to
get there like
Sinners
5 minutes before showtime.
this on the second Sinners watch. It was a 6 o'clock showing. Sat in the seat with popcorn at 6:10. And I was like, God, I'm so early. I have like 10 minutes of trailers. You're there for 40 minutes of stuff.
Yeah,
Why?
sometimes. Sometimes.
Who does
'Cause I like
that?
seeing the trailers and stuff.
Well, then, but why like early enough for the actual?
Well, because I get
I've
there just in time for like, the actual showtime when the trailers start. Because sometimes they put stuff at the very beginning that I've never heard of before.
interesting. I
I don't know, man, I just like being early to things, I
fair
guess.
enough. Fair enough.
I mean, not even to things, just I think the
Just
movies
some
was, like,
movies.
the only thing I get there early
Yeah.
to.
If I'm, like, actually running late, I get so stressed where, like, unlike anything else in my life, like
Yeah, but yeah, so
what else?
if you're ever, bored one day, I guess, and wanna kill 40
Yeah,
minutes, get there early and
I
you'll
guess
see, Caitlin Dever on the I think it's on TV sometimes also, though.
oh, no, I'll keep an eye out.
So, yeah, keep an eye out next
She's
time you're browsing the TV, I guess.
I don't think I have cable,
Oh, well, it's gonna be tough.
but she's also
Look it up
really
on
good in No
YouTube.
One Will Save You. Just remember, that's what I was trying to think
Mm.
of. I like that movie a lot. And, oh, again, I sound like the worst people in the world when I say all this stuff, but I was watching it and I was like, she looks just like Ellie. I like Bella Ramsey. I don't think they should be like replaced or I don't. No, I think Bella Ramsey's great as Ellie, But just watching Caitlin Dever interact with like Pedro's Joel, I was like, this looks like Ellie and Joel talking right now.
Yeah.
Which really
I don't
like
know. I was kind of like, I felt like the reaction Ellie had to Joel's death wasn't as like, I don't know. I was just expecting more, I guess. Like I thought
I
it'd be more
don't
like visceral or like angry,
I don't
I guess.
disagree. I don't
So
disagree. I think Bella Ramsey's really good.
yeah.
I also think that they look very young, and they're like we're next
Yeah.
to Jesse, and it's like this guy's like 40, and you're
Yeah.
like 12. It's
I'm
like,
like, this guy could be your dad
yeah, exactly, and
for
they're
all
the
I
same
know.
age. It really
Yeah.
throws me off. But again, Bella Ramsey's good.
Yeah.
I
Bella
don't,
Ramsey's fine. But
and they
I
get a
will
lot of
say,
hate, and I don't want to.
during the thing, yeah, I don't want to contribute to it, but I will say
Yeah,
this. I was like, I could say Kaylin Deaver or Kaylee Spaney right now would be killing this.
yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, not that Bella Ramsey's not, but I mean, I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah,
they would look more age. They would
yeah,
look more like the age that they're supposed to be
100%.
playing.
And I always see people saying that like no one complains that Pedro doesn't look like Joel. I think he does. Like I don't think.
But also, like Joel is just like basic white guy, so it's not
Exactly.
like hard to look like him.
Exactly.
And
And I
also,
don't
there
think
definitely was people that complained when Pedro Pascal
yeah,
was cast.
exactly. And I don't think that like Bella Ramsey, like I don't think they have to look just like Ellie. I just my only issue is that they look very young
They
in
do look
season
really
2.
young.
That's it. Like, and I know that in real life they're older than Ellie is in the show, I think. So
Yeah.
it's not like they just look very young, which who
Yeah.
cares? But it does stick out to me a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna stick out in the future of the season with the stuff Ellie does. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's like the shot where Ellie is like pointing a gun essentially at the camera,
Oh yeah.
and like you're looking down the scope of the gun or down the barrel of the gun, and like I don't know, it just looks like a child just pointing a gun.
Yeah. And like Ellie in part 2 is scary, man.
Right.
It's like that's the point. But
Yeah.
yeah, again, I don't want to like contribute to any of the shit Bella Ramsey has to go to. I like Bella Ramsey. I think they're good.
Yeah.
No,
So
that
I
about
don't I
it?
don't know. There's not really too much else to say in episode 2.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's kind of it.
Having the song at the end be sang by Ashley Johnson. That was
Oh, I didn't notice that.
she voices Ellie in the game, and it's
Right.
the same song that was played during the Last of Us Part 2 reveal trailer back in like 2016.
Mm,
That made me I was already crying because of course I was, but that got me as well.
yeah.
And just seeing the body being dragged like that
Yeah, that
in the
was pretty tough.
bag, that
Yeah. Also, she played Ellie's mom in season 1.
oh, that's
Which is
true. She did. I forgot about that.
yeah.
Good episode. I know I just complained about it for like 30 minutes, but I like it. I do like it.
Good episode. I'm
I
excited for episode 3. I'm very excited to see Tommy's reaction and I mean everyone's reaction really.
yeah,
But
me too. I'm very excited for next
I
episode.
know
I'm
that
like,
they're are you ready to cry though when that little kid, his like nephew,
oh,
realizes that
I
he's dead?
know. And that's new. Like that's just
Yeah.
making it even more painful. There was part of me, I don't know why, but there was part of me watching that scene. I was like, maybe they're not gonna kill him. I was like, maybe this is gonna go differently. It's like, yeah, they're gonna like redo it. It's like watching Revenge of the Sith and being like, Anakin's not gonna turn this time.
Yeah.
There's hope.
Dude,
But
spoilers.
like,
That doesn't come out in theaters till
oh,
next week.
that's so true.
But
Is
man,
that
you got to
about
get
it
the
for us
Fell for
here?
it again award.
I know, I am.
You literally
I
fell for
really
it
am.
again.
I did. Part of me was really like, wow, I think this might go differently. There were a couple different points, and I was like, oh, hey, you know what?
I thought that at the very beginning, like when they took the gun and everything off him, I was like, it would be kind of cool if they like didn't do it now, like faked everyone out.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah,
think they're gonna kill him now, but then they actually kill him later. But
yeah,
then they shotgunned his leg, and I was like, no, I think that's it.
yeah. I was, yeah. I was thinking that like, what if they did it just because like the game exists, it's good, it's there. What if they just were like, hey, let's fucking try something new? I'd like, what
Yeah,
if like it was Tommy instead or something? It wouldn't make any sense because he didn't kill the
yeah.
guy, but like
They're
maybe
like
they do
Pedro
it to get a
Pascal's too big
Joel
of a
and
draw. We can't
yeah,
get rid of him.
exactly. That's what I'm curious about. Is my parents haven't watched the episode yet, or my grandfather. They all love the Last of Us show.
Uh-huh.
They don't know this is coming. I'm hopefully going to watch it with them, and I'm very excited for that.
Yes.
And yeah, but I'm curious if this is going to have like an effect of like Glenn in The Walking Dead, or like
Right.
people are going to be into it. Because I mean,
Yeah. I'm
I think a
curious.
lot of people started this show back in season 1 because of Pedro.
Yeah,
He's
for
like
sure.
he's the guy,
Yeah,
and I don't know, are they engrossed enough up to this point to stick around?
yeah.
I don't know. I
We'll
hope so.
see. I feel like they'll stick around for episode 3 probably, but then once
Yeah.
they're
Oh,
like, "Oh,
maybe
he's
he's still
really gone."
alive. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, maybe he was in that body bag because he's gonna come back to life. It's a
Yeah,
life-saving
yeah.
body bag.
Yeah, exactly. Earlier, I was thinking, I was like, "Is there any way?" I was like, "Alright, so
They're
here's
gonna
how
have
Joel
him,
can
like,
survive."
somehow get infected after
That's what
he
I was thinking,
died, and then
And then Ellie's like, "I'll do it. I'll get the I'll make the vaccine and
"Take
then
my
cure
brain
you,
out,
Jenny.
Dina."
Tina, hurry."
Instead of the, like, mask scene, she's like, "No, I'm immune. You have to take my brain out and make a vaccine to cure Joel
Yeah.
right now."
Have you played The Last of Us 2?
I haven't. I've seen
Oh,
a lot of clips,
okay.
though,
You said the
online.
mask scene. I was like, "Oh, maybe I don't have to talk so vaguely, actually."
No, I
About
wanna
future events.
play it. I've been thinking about, like, maybe playing through it, like, starting through the first one because I only played,
Oh,
like,
you should.
maybe 20 minutes of the first game.
You could get the new Last of Us Complete.
Yeah, the
It's like
5th edition of The Last of Us that's coming out.
I
They
also
release one
think
every year, man, it's
they really
crazy.
do. You know how this will be the last thing, and then we can wrap it up
Yeah,
finally. You know, I think her name's Tati Gabrielle. She's in the show, but she's bald in the show, and I don't think her character was bald, and I think it's because she's in the new
she's in
Naughty
the new
Dog
game,
game,
yeah.
and she's bald in that, and I think that's
Yeah,
the only reason, which I think is kind of funny. She could be doing like mocap still or something and need to be bald, but I
right.
just think it's really funny if it's like there's a little Easter egg for the eagle-eyed fans. She's
Yeah.
bald.
What's it's like the Heretic Prophet?
Yeah,
I don't remember the
Intergalactic, I
yeah,
think.
Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet.
Yeah, hopefully
I don't
that's
know, that
good.
game seems pretty cool.
It does seem cool.
Maybe we'll see more of it this summer.
I just wish it wasn't so woke.
Alright, and on that note,
And I
that has been episode 11 of
God,
the
I can't
Aluminum
say that after
Stream.
everything I said during the Last of Us
Yeah.
episode. I sound like the worst guy.
I'm gonna edit up the Last of Us and make a clip of just you being like,
You
"Bella
should.
Ramsey is too woke."
The worst part is it would probably get so much engagement. People would be like,
Yeah.
"Hell yeah,
Hell
brother!"
yeah, man! Finally, someone says
That's
what
what
I'm
I'm saying.
thinking.
Finally, a bald white man to really bring us home.
I trust
All
that
right.
guy's views
Yeah.
on diversity.
I was thinking it would be kind of funny to like spend a year or two making those videos and then like at the end of it, but I don't think it's worth it. Like do
No, the
something funny
toll
with it.
on your
I know,
soul and
exactly.
everything is not worth it.
And I would yeah, and it would suck. And I don't know what you would do at the end that would make it big enough.
Yeah, it's like pranked you, and they're like, "Oh, all right, we'll just go back to watching
Yeah,
Asmongold or whatever."
exactly. Like maybe you could subtly change like halfway through a year and like
Yeah,
guide them, but I can't think of anything big enough to be at the end of it.
just like trick them.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Sorry for
All right,
dragging this on so long. Thank you all very much for watching. We appreciate you.
yeah, and
Yeah.
obligatory subscribe to the YouTube, follow on
Yes.
Spotify,
Feel
rate,
free.
like whatever it
Yeah,
is.
comment literally anything.
Yeah,
Love to chat.
yeah,
Thanks,
and
everybody.
adios.
Adios.